price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Welcome, family. Welcome, my brothers and sisters. I'm your brother Afro Lee. We have a special live stream today because normally, y'all can count on y'all hand. Maybe it might take two if you span the years. How often I've gone live on Tuesday, but today is a special day because today is the day of the mayoral election in New York, and we need an expert to talk about it. We do. There's a lot going on in New York for foundational Black Americans, and this is going to set the precedent for the rest of the nation, and we need to talk about it. We need to discuss it. We need to discuss the plays of the Democratic Party, what they're doing, and then we need to discuss how the reparations movement is going along, because we see in clips coming out of New York about reparations, but exactly what type of plays are they making, and then what type of plays do we need to be making? That's what I need to know. That's what everybody needs to know. So it's very important that you guys are in here. And as you guys are in here, it's very important that you hit that like button. If y'all hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate that. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Y'all make sure y'all do all of those things. All right. Now, without any further ado, we're going to bring this guest back up. This guest is an expert, an activist in New York, has her own business selling skincare products. We're going to get into that a little bit later, okay? Because, you know, when you're representing for the culture, you got to look good. So we got to make sure that the skin is popping, okay? We're going to get into that a little bit later, but we on business right now. Now, we're going to talk about some very important things. So without any further ado, let me bring on our activist FBA sister from New York, Breuck. How you doing?
Hello. Hi. Nice to see you tonight. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Let's get started.
Okay. All right, let's get started. So we're going to talk about the fact that it seems, now we don't know what it's looking like, but from what it's looking like, it looks like this guy named Mamdani is probably going to be the next mayor of New York. So what does that mean for Foundation Black American New Yorkers? What does that mean for Foundation Black Americans?
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still hoping that that does not happen. Okay.
Oh.
Like, we don't need buffer classes here in New York, and that seems to be what they keep pushing onto us, because anything that we learned from Mayor Eric Adams is that when you have a buffer class in between you and the white supremacists, how can you get to, like President Devon says, how can I get to the white supremacists? Because it's like when you try to say that things that are happening are racist, and the first thing they throw in your face is, how can they be racist? Because this person isn't white. You know what I mean? Like, how can they be racist? So, I don't see, he's a liar. He's a con artist. He comes from a long family of being a buffer classes. They were buffer classes in Uganda, and then they came over here as his parents were buffer classes in Uganda. They came over here as Africana studies professors for Columbia University, and his mama made that movie no. That is not the name of the movie. The name of the movie is Marsala something, right? And I can't think of the name of it right now, but I'll look it up. And Mississippi Marsala, that's the name of the movie. And with Denzel Washington. His mother is, yes, she did that movie. And if you look, even in the movie, it references how they were buffer classes in Uganda. How after the British colonized Uganda, they had already colonized India. So what they did was they brought Indians from India in to Uganda to be the buffer classes over the Ugandans. They brought them in to build the railroad, and then they stayed. What happened was the Ugandan people started realizing Idi Amin, who they paint as the big bad wolf over here in the United States, Idi Amin did not appreciate the fact that none of the Ugandans were profiting from what was happening in Uganda. But the Indian people that came over they were the buffer class on top of them. So he kicked them out.
Oh wow. Okay.
He kicked them out. This is why
Now,
the Western
around what years were this going? Did this start
I
taking place?
want to say, oh my goodness gracious, that's where I start. I'm sure I
Because
still have
it
articles
must
on
have.
my computer.
Okay, I just want to know. It probably was spanning a long time, right? So this has been
I
going on for a while. You think?
Well,
Because if
they got kicked out. I want to say, don't quote me 100%, but I want to say maybe the 50s or 60s.
okay,
Okay, that they got kicked out. Like I said, I can go back to them because I'm sure I still have my articles on my computer, which I am on right now. From when I did my 5 hour special on my Dami.
okay,
Um,
but you guys need to go see.
yeah. So,
So
and that's I start getting into specifics on them, but they were kicked out at a time. So his parents moved from Uganda to the UK, and then from the UK to the US. So he moved
okay,
here when he was 13 years old, right?
okay,
So, he sits there and he claims, like, I'm so grassroots, you know what I'm saying? I'm grassroots New York. But because of his mother and her movie and the strings that she was able to pull, he went to the elite schools on the Upper West Side, an elite private school for free. So he plays like he acts like he hates the rich, right? But I think in actuality, let me put that on silent. In actuality, I believe that okay, hold on. I'm getting a date here. Sorry.
yes, it takes time.
Pardon. I just want to make sure
For
I get that
as you're
date.
doing that, I'm gonna
1972.
1972, y'all.
1972 is when he expelled the Indians. Thank you, President Divine. And so when he came here, he was like I said, he went to school for free at this elite private school. And you know how rich white kids can be, especially rich
Yeah.
white kids in New York. You know what I'm saying? They can be quite harsh to people that are on scholarships. Okay. So I believe he has like he pretends to have this contention with billionaires and millionaires because of what he went through in school. But in actuality, he just wants to join that class. He wants to be in that class because he had 3 weddings. He had a wedding here in New York. He had a wedding in Uganda, and then he had another wedding in Dubai.
Okay.
This is not grassroots.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The chick he married, you know what I'm saying? Her background is similar to his, except I can't find out what the heck her parents did. But I do know that she wrote about the fact that when she moved here from Yemen, that she, you know what I'm saying, like she was made to feel like she was not quite who she was, but she's not quite American. So they both have this identity crisis that they got going on. And what people don't understand is like in my opinion, his whole platform is to take it out on the rest of New York. Like what he went
Okay.
through, how he, you know what I'm saying? He does not really like America.
Okay. And this is something that I think we're seeing a lot of these immigrants come over with this very like anti-American or anti-establishment um, ideology and thought process. But the thing is that as anti-American as they claim they are, they're not anti-white supremacy. Because I've looked up
Never.
his stances on certain things. I know he's switched his stances on the police and police brutality. He was all about defunding the police, which in all actuality, what the people on the grassroots are saying that you need to punish corrupt police officers. It's not like pulling the money out of the department because that's not the problem. The problem is not the fact that they have too much money. The problem is the fact that they have race soldiers in the department. You know what I'm saying? But his
Absolutely.
stance has switched on that. And then I think there was another police incident where then he completely switched his stance. And then he was all like, well, yeah, we need to fund the police and protect the police. So this is kind of like the socialist, which a lot of people in my opinion, view as anti-establishment, but really he works with the establishment.
Absolutely. He's above a class. He's above class. He lies and says all these things and pretends like he's for the people, but he's not. Even when he talks about his grassroots support and how he got all these signatures, his district that he is an assembly person in is in one of the is in there's no it's not a poor district. It's not a low income district. You know what I'm saying? He might have a couple seniors or whatever, but it's a bunch of Asians and whatnot.
Okay. I got it.
So, that's who his support is. When he talks about he got grassroots support, what, rich white kids? A bunch of them? Is that the grassroots? Or is that AstroTurf? Like I said, he will lie, he will cheat, he will do whatever it takes to make it to the top. And that is obvious. And it's in his blood. His family been doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like they're bred to take advantage of black folk. That's
Absolutely.
his upbringing. That's his family. So the second he gets in charge, he's being quiet now, but the second he gets in charge, if he does become the mayor, we can't expect him to do more than what his background has shown that he does. We can't expect that.
And I don't understand. He's sitting there tap dancing for y'all, but he ain't gonna do nothing for you. Like, and here's my issue, right? Is a lot of people think that because he's an immigrant that they have not FBA, of course, we don't think that, but New York is filled with a lot of people. So a lot of people think that because he's an immigrant that he is going to have their best interest at heart. No. He is the buffer class here to get the rest of y'all out of here. Like, I don't understand why they don't see it. He's tap dancing, pretending like he cares and he loves. No, he is going to liquidate your neighborhoods. The rent is already so crazy high that people can't afford to live here. He's not going to make it any better. Talking about free buses. Why would that even? How could you imagine? We already have issues with the homeless and a lot of the mentally ill. If the buses were free, could you imagine? You can't even tell them to get off because you know what I'm saying, they didn't pay. Like it's like instead of trying to bring jobs or so, and then that's another thing. You're sitting there with this constant battle with the rich. New York needs the rich. I understand, but when they're not here, we have to carry the bill. If they're not collecting taxes from the corporations or the businesses or the movies or whatever it is, that is why we got a congestion pricing tax. We got tolls every freaking where. They ticketing us up the wazoo. They're making it impossible. You must take the train. The train is so so dangerous. And then they make it impossible for you to have a car. They're taking all the parking with these stupid bikes and trikes and things that are blowing up. The batteries are blowing. Let's not even. They gave the illegals all of these little motorbikes and mopeds or whatever, mopeds and whatnot. And then the batteries, they bring in the batteries inside the house, and we got fires everywhere.
So yeah, I remember one story. This was during the Biden administration. And like you said, the illegals they were bringing the electric, what are they, scooters or bikes or something like that. They were bringing them in, and the battery is very flammable, you know, and it's likely, especially if it's indoors, to blow up. And if it does, you got carpet, you got furniture, you got curtains, things that catch on flame very easily.
Once you put it out, they will come back alive. You can't just put it out with you can't put it out with water. That's another thing. Yeah. Those batteries are extremely dangerous, and they gave these people little bombs and sent them all across the city. So It's just like I I have so much to say about New York. So you have to keep me on track because I could
Yeah.
complain all
No,
day.
but
Somebody
now
asked if I had a plan. It ain't
we'll get
Mandami,
to
I'll
that.
tell you that much.
We'll get to that. Now I want to before we go because I have some clips of Ma'am Donnie, and I haven't made a live stream about this, and I'm glad that you're here. Eric Adams dropping out the race. What is that about? What do you think that's about? And how what are your feelings about him dropping out the race? I know
Eric,
for a fact you weren't a fan, but what do you think about
no.
that?
I was never a fan of Eric Adams because Eric Adams was showed me that he was a spineless coward during the nail shop. Eric Adams showed me he was a spineless coward when our brother got killed in the pink houses. He
Mm,
sided with the Chinese, okay? So Eric Adams been a spineless coward to me since when he was borough president, since when he was all whatever titles he had. He been ain't to me, okay?
mhm.
However, he made this mess. And he should be the one to clean it up because everybody else, I'm gonna be honest, at the end of the day, everybody else is gonna let these illegals do whatever they want to do. They gonna make this a free for all for them. You know what I'm saying? And that part I'm not really with. And so at least it seemed like he was gonna work with ICE.
Okay.
But it seems like that didn't really happen because I think somebody from ICE got shot in the face or something like
Oh man.
So it seemed like he was gonna work with them. So, but I know for a fact that none of the rest of them want to work with him. Now Cuomo might want to do it now because he trying to get buddy with Trump so he could get elected over Mondami because he realized, that he actually have to work. He not used to that. He used to being able to get over on his daddy's name.
Yeah. That's that nepotism in politics
Come
that they
on
used
now.
to.
Get
Boy, they
over
used
on
to
his
that.
daddy's name, but it ain't working that well this time.
Oh,
So,
mm-hmm.
I felt like Eric Adams should have stayed and cleaned up his daggone mess. At least tried to stay and clean up your mess. But you see, he was so crooked, he's scared to stay. So anything they give, they could pay him to do anything because he's scared, because he know he crooked. And here's the thing. Why he thought he could get away with being crooked is the craziness to me. Him and Letitia James. I don't understand how both of them thought they could get away with anything being black in politics. Haven't y'all learned anything? How many New York politicians got to go down for this ridiculousness? Eric Adams just was just going way overboard. You know what I'm saying? With his little Dominican mommies and whatnot. Come on, I can't deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is you doing? He in there smoking hookah. Come on.
Mm,
And you know what? My Dami learned from that. That's what he doing right now. He in the club smoking hookah.
okay.
He in the club getting what you would call it from rappers and whatnot with his little struggle rap career.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, we weren't in support. Like you said, we were not in support, but at least as far as the immigrant crisis, Eric Adams was more cooperative. I'm not going to say he was fully cooperative, but he was a
Boom.
lot more cooperative with
At the end.
ICE and the federal government than we see in Chicago with Brandon Johnson, or we see in
Yeah.
LA with a
Yes.
Newton. No, not Newton. What's his name? Newsom.
Newsom.
Gavin
Yeah.
Newsom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Like
He going
and
Newsom.
like you said, we don't see cooperation at all. We see complete resistance the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
But Eric Adams, he decided to come drop out, which is crazy because I guess he never thought anybody was going to check the books or check the files on him. I mean, when you look at it, it was so sloppy. It's like he wanted to get caught almost.
Come on. It seems like it. With everything he was doing, when I could go on talking about the corruption. And the thing is, you know, that's why I used to have my foot on his neck, because it wasn't just like him, you know, giving jobs to his friends and stuff like that. Like, I mean, the corruption went deep, even with the police department and everything like that. The chiefs that he was hiring. Remember, we had the first chief that he appointed was a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't last very long at all. And in my opinion, we don't know why she left, but in my opinion, I think she took a look at what was going on and was like, you know what? I'm not going down for this. And she bounced. Okay. Then next, who they brought in there? They brought in Senor Carbone in there. Right? Now, check this out. His brother was working with clubs. He was like a promoter, or he owned a club or something like that. So then now you got the club owner is the brother of the police department. So he was helping the clubs get the, you know, the permits and the liquor license and okay. On top of that, he was sweeping all of the charges, like, you know, when people would come and they would bring complaints against the police department, he's sweeping all them shits on the rug.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because we had this independent like oversight committee. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was like the city council is involved in that. And they really did. I give them credit on that. They really fought hard for that. And it's like they would bring the complaints, but at the end of the day, the person who would have to, you know, dole out the punishment or suspensions or whatever would be the chief of police, Senor Carbone. So he was like, oh, nothing. And see, this is why I feel like that first chief was like, I'm not going to get in trouble for this. So she bounced. Then you could go in even further. The head of the school department was living together with one of his right hand people and in the upper staff. It was just very, everybody was sleeping with everybody. It was just, you know, this person's brother, that person's cousin, this person's that. It was just too much. It was too much. And he got caught. He got caught doing it all, including, and this is the most important part for New Yorkers to understand about what Eric Adams did, and for other people moving forward. I don't know if it's just the state of New York. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but we have this thing where we match funding here, right? So for your small donation, so I think it has to be under $150, right? So if you're a New York, if you're a mayoral candidate, right, all you have to do is apply for this funding, and the state will match your funding 8 times. You see that face?
Yeah.
8 times. So you get $1, they give you 8. So let's say I go out, I'm running for mayor. I go out, I raise $1 for my campaign. That's considered a small donation. So then it fits. They will give me the state will now come around and give me $8. And that's how he got caught a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because they doing, and this applies, I don't know about the donation part, but especially with the small donations, this kind of corruption with the small donations is rampant in the Democratic Party. There are multiple articles about this with different, you know what I'm saying, all kinds of candidates, right? Where what happens is it'll be, say, like, I own a company. Let's say I own a hotel. Because it did happen at a hotel. Let's say I own a hotel. I get all my cleaners, all my workers to donate $150 to Mayor Adams. And I tell you, I'll pay you back. I need you to do this though, because I need it to be all these small donations, because I can't give a large amount. So that's how you do it.
Oh, there's a lot of corruption going on. And, you know, I find that to be very interesting, because look at what you're saying about how the police are tied in with these clubs, and they sweep stuff under the rug. Now, when they talk about quote unquote black on black crime, when they talk about how we're so criminal and we have such a criminalistic culture, you don't see nowhere near the amount of organized crime that you see with these other communities. Like, you don't see
Absolutely.
this in, like, okay, somebody breaking into somebody's car and stealing a bag. That's one thing. We're talking about, when we talk about other people's crimes, we're talking about organized crimes where people are lying on documentation, people are scamming, people are plotting against each other. The police all know about it, which is why you can't take their word for the whole FBI statistics and all that, because they all know
Well,
about it. Everybody is in on it because everybody's getting some off. Everybody's getting a little bit of change off of it, you know.
mm-hmm.
So I think that what you said is very important because it just highlights how when they talk about quote unquote crime, how hypocritical they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And how Eric Adams thought he was going to get away with it is beyond me. You black, sir. All of them. It's like y'all dumb. It's like they ran around in these circles and they let these white folks pump them up so bad. And that's how Eric Adams ended up working with ICE in the first place, because he thought that Biden was going to pull him inside the White House and pat him on his little peanut head and tell him good job and we love you. And that's not what happened. He had completely ignored him when he came to the United Nations. He had completely ignored him when he went to DC. So, it was hilarious. And that's why he got mad. And he started stomping his feet and talking bullshit about the Democratic Party because they didn't like him no more. He was begging for money. He started telling the truth. You shouldn't have let them in here in the first place. Because let's not forget that first bus. He was at the bus stop waiting for them. And the bus stop in front of the 5-star hotel.
Okay. Yeah. I know
He
he
sat
said
right
he was
there
what, the
waiting on
Biden
them.
of Brooklyn or something of that sort. He thought, and I think that's
Don't
the
get me
thing. I think
started.
he honestly thought that him and Biden were friends. Like, for
He
real, they were friends
did. I'm
beyond
telling you,
politics.
he did. He thought that Biden was going, you know what I'm saying, pat him on his little head, and they were going to be best friends, and he was going to lay down by the fire in the White House, and it was going to be lovely. That's what he thought. And Biden was like, who? Adams? Adams who? I don't know that fool. And he got hurt. He got hurt by it. And that's the only reason why he working with ICE now. You know what I mean? And that's
Mhm.
why I say, as much as I couldn't stand him, he should have stayed up in here and cleaned your mess. You made this mess, clean it
I agree. I want to play some
up.
clips, and I want to get your reaction because it seems as if now this could be a play, and I want to get your reaction. I don't even want to say anything, but the Democratic Party is not too big of a fan of hold on, I pressed the wrong button, of Mandani. So let's see what that's about. So hold on. So this is Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem Jeffries did an interview, and he was. I'm gonna just play it. There's no need
Okay,
for me to
okay.
say what's going to be said.
Elections coming up in just 2 days. Governor's race in Virginia, governor's race in New Jersey, and then the mayor of the city in which you live, New York, New York. You've already cast your ballot for mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani. Do you see Mamdani as the future of the Democratic Party?
No, I think the future of the Democratic Party is going to fall, as far as we're concerned, relative to the House Democratic Caucus and members who are doing a great work all across the country as it relates to our need to both take back control of the House, but in doing so, make sure that we're communicating to the American people like we understand you deserve better than the country that you have received. Donald Trump and Republicans have gone way too far and have failed to deliver anything meaningful for the American people. And as Democrats, we're going to focus on lowering the high cost of living, on fixing our broken healthcare system that Republicans continue to make worse with their toxic policies, and of course on cleaning up corruption in the Congress, in the courts, and within the administration, with Donald Trump running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of the country. So we're going to continue to affirmatively lean in on the issues that we know matter to the American people. I expect that we're going to see a big night on Tuesday in New Jersey and in Virginia, and certainly as it relates to Prop 50 in California, where we stopped Trump from stealing the election. and then that'll lay a foundation for Democrats to take back control of the House in 2026.
Well, I mean, I asked you if Mamdani was the future of the party, and you didn't answer the question. You said the House Democrats are. I would note that at least a couple House Democrats from the New York area are not endorsing Mamdani. Your endorsement took a long time. Schumer still has not endorsed him. Are you concerned about Republicans using him as a lightning rod so as to hurt your ability to win back the House in 2026?
No, the lightning rod in terms of what's going to impact the ability of either side to win control of the House or hold control of the House in 2026 is going to be the failure of Republicans to actually deliver on the promises that they've made and to actively make life worse for everyday Americans. The country knows that we're heading in the wrong direction. We see it repeatedly. The country knows that Republicans have refused to make health care affordable and are actively making it unaffordable, depriving working class Americans of their ability to see a doctor when they need one. And the country knows that Republican policies have been all about the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected, and they have not focused on making life better for everyday Americans. We will as House Democrats.
Okay, so that's the end of that. Find it interesting. He did not answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to know from you is, it seems as if the party, the Democratic Party, is very reluctant when it comes to endorsing Mamdani. It took him a while. Some Democrats have still not done that, even though Eric Adams had dropped out. He's in the polls. He's way ahead of Cuomo, or at least that's what they're saying. He's ahead of Cuomo. So why do you think, or is this a game? Is this like a play? Why do you think that the Democratic Party is not fully backing Mamdani?
Because he's a Democratic socialist.
Okay.
Think about like even Bernie, who also, right? Doesn't Bernie say he's Democratic socialist? They don't really back him that much either. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I guess it's, I guess the line is Democratic socialism with the Democrats. So, they only came around because he won the primaries. They tried to ignore him. And even so even though the Democrats,
with state and
there
local
are certain
elections,
Democrats that don't want to endorse him. What I talked about in my 5-hour Mamdani special was that Obama had reached out to him. Obama and his campaign manager had reached out to him. So they already was hopping on board. So everything, he's just another, Obama-esque type of person. Obama could see, you just like me. You'll say anything to get to the top too. You'll lie, pretend, fake your lineage.
Okay.
Lie, fake, cheat, steal. Do whatever it takes to get to the top, right? Ain't that what Obama did? Lied about his lineage. You know what I'm saying? Like pretending like he was somebody that he wasn't, acting like he was doing something in Chicago when he didn't, acting like he was grassroots when he wasn't.
Yep.
Acting like he wasn't connected when he was. When now we find out that he's freaking cousins with half the presidents.
Yeah, he's related. He's biologically related
by blood. So, you know what I'm saying? Obama could see the Obama in him. And he reached out to him. Buffer class, ain't that what Obama is?
Yeah, that is true.
So he reached out to him, and they've been giving him help and giving him tools, telling him, go on Arsenio and play the saxophone. Go on, let me see what else. What did Obama do? Go on whatchamacallit, sing Negro spirituals. Go in church. What did Hillary do? Go bring hot sauce in your purse to the Breakfast Club? Ain't that what he doing? Except on a younger scale. Now he at the club smoking hookah. He doing music videos inside of a halal truck with no shirt on and white sauce. What? That's suspect to me. But ain't pause. Like they say, do you? You in the truck with no shirt on with your friends.
Yeah.
With the
A
white
lot of
boy.
that stuff is suspect. Yeah, that's
I'm
suspect.
just saying, you got a wife and all of that. I don't know. I'm just saying, it looked crazy to me.
Yeah.
So, so he doing that in his rap video. Like, this is his video. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's playing with the rappers. He was at the Wu-Tang concert talking to RZA. Taking pictures with and I had a question the other day, right? I had a question when I did my Mondami special. I say, Killer Mike, what did you and Mondami talk about? Because Killer Mike was at the Wu-Tang concert. And I respect Killer Mike. But Killer Mike, you're not a New Yorker. And I want to know what y'all was talking about, because he made it seem like y'all cool. He put that on his website and that gave him clout. And you know that, Killer Mike, you are very intelligent. You know that picture, that little dap y'all did and all that, whatever. You know how that looked. And as a New Yorker, you still ain't tell me yet what y'all talked about. And now they talking about really making him mayor. When I know he's a snake. And if I know he's a snake, did you know he was a snake? And let him use your image? I'm just asking questions. Because like I said, I respect Killer Mike. But that's stuff I got to know.
Yeah, that is a good question, because he was all in support of Bernie Sanders. I remember that. He was 10 toes down
Another
with
Democratic socialist.
Yeah. And then Bernie Sanders was talking about reparations is unfeasible and we wouldn't know who to give it to. And he kept dipping and dodging that question. He ran away from the question of reparations, So Killer Mike, I mean, it seemed like you got a political type or something like that. I'm like, what's going on, man?
Come on, brother. That's what I'm talking about. He got a type. That's a fact. He got a type. He liked them socialists.
Yeah.
So
I want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to because Donald Trump has said something. He did an interview with 60 Minutes, and Ma'am Donnie had came up, and this was Donald Trump's response to it.
With state and local elections coming up Tuesday, we asked the president about the highly anticipated mayoral race that includes former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Zohran Mamdani.
Zohran Mamdani, 34-year-old Democratic socialist. He's the front
communist, not socialist, communist. He's far worse than a socialist.
Some people have compared him to a left-wing version of you, charismatic, breaking the old rules. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I'm a much better looking person than him, right?
Okay, hold on. That was not the that was not the clip, but it was another clip. Hold on for one second.
That gave me a good laugh.
Okay, I got the wrong clip up, but okay.
Yo, Trump be making me laugh.
That's Donald Trump for you.
Trump is
That
a
is Donald
comedian.
Trump.
Yo, he is hilarious to me. I be rolling. Man,
With
listen.
state and local elections coming up Tuesday, we asked the president about the highly anticipated mayoral race.
And look, he said it with a straight face too. You know he believed that. He believed that 100%. Hold on. This was a clip. Hold on. Hold on. Let me pull this up for you. Okay, hold
on. Breaking the old rules. What do you think about that?
Okay, here it is.
Well, I think I'm a much better looking person than him, right?
Mamdani has said that if his opponent, former Governor Andrew Cuomo, wins, he would be a puppet for Trump.
He has a narrow path to City Hall and has taken that to mean that he should fund it and pave it with the money from Donald Trump's billionaire donors.
Cuomo has said that if Mamdani wins, Trump would take over New York City.
If Zohran Mamdani wins the election, Donald Trump will take over New York City. He will be President Trump and Mayor Trump.
He said he will be President Trump and Mayor Trump. He's going to take over New York and send tanks down Fifth Avenue.
Oh, that's so crazy. Look, when I left New York, we were at the epitome of it was a great city. It was doing great. It was a great city, but there was some bad signs because we had a guy named de Blasio who was the worst mayor. Like I say, Biden was the worst president. De Blasio was the worst mayor.
But what if
in the history of
Mandami becomes mayor?
It's going to be hard for me as the president to give a lot of money to New York because if you have a communist running New York, all you're doing is wasting the money you're sending there. So I don't know that he's won, and I'm not a fan of Cuomo one way or the other, but if it's going to be between a bad Democrat and a communist, I'm going to pick the bad Democrat all the time, to be honest.
Okay, so you see that?
Child,
I want to play
you
just
know,
a tad bit
didn't-
of that because I think that was very important.
I mean,
That Trump
look,
he completely disagrees, even though he doesn't like Cuomo. He would rather Cuomo over Mandani, and he said if Mandani wins, he would have a hard time, which means he's probably going to be restricting some funds given to New York. He's probably going to be restricting that, or he's gonna be cutting that lower or something of the sort.
here's the problem. I think, you know, as I like to consider myself a little bit of a strategist, right? Just a little bit. Now, I'm not the greatest, you know what I'm saying? But I really study strategy. I really, you know, and he shouldn't have said nothing. He hurt Cuomo. If he wanted Cuomo to win, he should have zipped it. Now, don't get me wrong. You saw me laughing. I think that was hilarious. You know what I'm saying?
It
what
was
he was
funny.
saying about, hey, that was funny. He should have just left it right there. You know what I mean? But given like New York hates Trump so much, and you know, like I said, I don't really care. I can't stand them all. And like I said, Trump is entertaining. If nothing else, he's entertaining. You know? So yeah. So as a strategist, he should have kept his mouth shut. If he did, like, because or maybe he should have maybe he should have gave his endorsement to Mandami.
He maybe, yeah, he would have helped Cuomo out. If you think about it, hey, that might have been he might have got his way then. You know?
So it's like I think you should I think it's not that I don't disagree with anything he said. If he's absolutely right. If he gets in there, he's going to be trying to give money to these illegals. It's going to be more of the same. He's not going to allow ICE into, you know, Rikers and things like that. And we've been having a lot of issues here. And they've been getting away with murder. So literally. So, you know, it's like he is like what's going on in Chicago because y'all mayor, you know what I'm saying, don't want to work with ICE. It's going to happen here. How could it not? We are the immigrant capital of the world, or of the state of the country. So how are they gonna do? They're gonna do something. And this is the part I don't understand about the legal immigrants that are here. Do y'all realize that y'all shooting yourself in the foot? Y'all making the block hot.
Talk to him. I don't know.
Y'all making the block hot for you. And this is this, you know, like but they're so blind because it's like they want to have camaraderie with this guy because he's an immigrant. He don't care about you. Yeah, it's no immigrant camaraderie that he has with you, especially the black ones. You know what I mean? So you know, because I saw the Caribbeans, I'm seeing a lot of Caribbeans that are like, yeah, you know, like especially the politicians, the Caribbean politicians in Brooklyn, they are all Mandami down. Those are not the Democrats that are against Mandami. I tell you that much. Okay, so it's like they don't understand. They're already losing their houses. They're already, because you know what happened to our family here is now happening to them. Deed theft, erroneous bills, so other people could steal your deed. You know what I'm saying? All these things. Now, they made it so, renter friendly, you can't kick anybody out. So all of these things are hurting homeowners. And they don't realize that they're voting right against their own best interest, because all he's going to do is privatize everything. And the people who are and when they say affordable housing, I need people to think. They're using a word. What does that word mean? Affordable means what? Affordable to who? And I told people, I want to say years ago, that when they do affordable housing, the low income is going to be $70,000. That's going to be the low income. And you know what? I was wrong. It's 100. That is the low income price for a lot of these houses that they're building, or this affordable housing that they're lying to you and telling you that they building. Then they also do other little tricks where, so a corporation or a real estate development company, I want to put a building up, right? I wanted to have, let's say I wanted to have 100 apartments, okay? So then they cut a deal with the city, okay? So I'll let you do it if you take 10% and you make those affordable housing. What they will do is they will move one person in one apartment, leave the other 9 empty. Right, because they only need to be affordable apartments for a certain amount of time. Then after that time is over, is expired, then they can turn it back to regular apartments, the regular price.
Okay.
So rich people don't want to come in and out the building with low income people. Let's keep it 100. Okay, I'm letting you know.
That's true.
So sometimes they put you in a different exit. You still got to come in the back though. You don't have use to, if you are getting the building, you don't have use to all the amenities. You live there in name only. So these are all the little tricks that they doing, and people not realizing, they're hearing these words, they're saying these words, affordable housing, free buses, this, that, and they don't understand the real cost of what you're doing. You cannot make the projects, let's keep it, I'm going to call it what it is. You can't privatize the projects. The projects is not going to make any money. Something, a corporation has to make money. So if you privatize the projects, they are going to figure out a way to make it profitable, because they are beholden to their shareholders. They have to make it profitable. They have no choice, or they will move the CEO out and get a new one. So how can you you cannot make it private. Now, what you could do, since somebody was asking about plans, what you could do was take private money, donations. You got rappers and whatnot that live that come from these projects. Why y'all don't do benefit concerts? Raise money to fix it up. Since they run down the rats and all this kind of stuff, have concerts. Look, Jay-Z is from Marcy Project. Now, ain't too many black people living in Marcy Projects anymore, if you really want to keep that 100, from what I hear. Now, I ain't want to be going in other projects like that, but I'm just saying, from what I saw, ain't too many black people in Marcy anymore. But you get my point. You got these rappers that are from these places. All they got to do is a couple of concerts, you know what I'm saying? Get some money going. And I'm sure they would be happy to do that. They're from these places. And then you raise money like that, and then take that money and fix it up. Leave it under city, whatever. We know it's all corrupt, whatever. But at least you could get it fixed up. You know what I mean? And at least you still get to pay a little $80 rent. You get to pay, you know what I'm saying? Your little $100, your little $600. You know what I'm saying? Because that all that is, even if you go up to $600, that's still cheap, super cheap in New York. And you're not going to find any place like that. You're not going to be able to move out the project into affordable housing. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. It's not going to be for you. And so
when they say affordable housing, really, that's the very nicest sugar-coated way of saying gentrification.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So that's what they're saying. And also, when they say affordable housing, what they're trying to strip, like you said, privatize everything and make sure that nobody owns anything. They're trying to
That
strip
too.
away the ownership of everything, which is one of the things that I know a lot of Black people are like, capitalism is bad. So we should go to socialism. My thing is, whoever is running it, if they're corrupt, they're going to corrupt capitalism. And if they're corrupt, they're going to corrupt socialism. Okay. They're going to, from what I'm seeing, they're going to, because a lot of people assume that Brandon Johnson is an undercover socialist who tries to strip away the ownership of everything, of housing and of businesses and of all of that stuff. So
Yeah, I
that's
can see that.
and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Mandani too. There's
Well, he
stripping
says
away
he's
the
socialist.
ownership and letting the corporations and the investors own everything and run everything. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what look, Sage talking about how affordable housing in New York is $3K for the rent. Absolutely. That's what they want, because I told you the income is 100,000. So they know what they're doing, but the thing is, people are they just don't see. Like I said, a lot of the immigrants here, they see a camaraderie with him because he is also immigrant, but he's a rich one. He didn't go to school with your kids. He went to the Upper East Side or Upper West Side. I can't remember. Upper. Any of them uppers is expensive.
Yeah.
You know,
for money.
it's
You know,
right.
So
Money and
he's not
privilege.
used to it.
Exactly. Are you guys having weddings in Dubai? You know what I mean? No. So it's like, I wish people could see him for who he really is. And, so like I said, if I think for a strategy, and I know, it's hard for Trump just to says whatever's out his mouth, but I think a better strategy would have been to not endorse Cuomo.
Yeah. Because some people they're going to now vote for Mandani out of spite of Trump.
Trump. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're gonna see.
And this is, even though Trump, did a lot here, they hate Trump here. Although, let me rephrase that. Because when you look at the numbers, because now I'm thinking back, because I studied the election numbers. And Trump got a lot more, he picked up a lot of votes. I think he picked up like 100,000 votes in New York, and then Kamala she lost like 75,000, or or the numbers might be inverted, but I think those were the numbers. And so the Democrats lost votes, people just stayed home and just didn't vote, and then Trump was able to pick up some. So I don't like it. I was confused as to why they didn't have a legitimate Republican candidate. If the Republicans really wanted to win New York, why did you make Silwa or Sliwa, however you say his name? I'm bad with people's names. However you say, why would you make him the Republican candidate? He's a freaking joke. Nobody takes him seriously. Why is he the only Republican candidate? And so I just felt like the Republicans didn't even try.
I agree. I have to agree. I didn't even know they ran a Republican candidate until I looked it up. I'm all like, okay, y'all just got this guy out the garbage. Apparently, I've never heard of this dude before.
Got Democrat. For a while, I thought Cuomo had switched tickets. You know what I'm saying? It was so many Democrats.
Somebody out the closet and it was like, hey, you can run. I'm all like, who is this guy and where is he from?
Out the closet, he took the bra off his head and then came out. He's like, okay, all right, I'm ready. Because he got in trouble for touching on boobies. Yeah, New York is wild. Like I don't even watch, I don't have to watch TV. New York politics is so entertaining. This one touching this one's boobs, this one's sleeping with that one. I mean, it's wild. It's like Days of Our Lives over here, child.
Yeah.
Or Dallas.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see. But speaking of New York and speaking of what needs to happen with the rent and everything like that going up, I want to speak about your activism in New York. First off, I want to thank you for that. I know you've been pulling some clips up of the hearings on Twitter, so I'm gonna play some of the Twitter or X, whatever y'all call it. I call
I
it
know, I
Twitter
call it
still.
Twitter. Me
You know what
too.
I'm saying? I still call it Twitter. So I'm gonna play that, and then we're gonna kind of discuss, because I know you got a petition going on, and there's a call to action for the community. So I want to get the community involved with what you got going on. All right. Okay.
Next, we have Breuck. Is Breuck here?
I didn't think y'all was gonna let me speak, okay? Reparations are not a.
You ran across that corner, didn't you, bro?
Let me tell you why.
I just
Let me
gotta
tell
play
you
that
why.
back. Brooke ran across. Y'all see the way she ran up to that mic?
Is Breuck here?
Let me
She said, boy, she did not want to. She's like, here, I'm here. It's like when you run into a classroom and you don't want to be written down as tardy. You like, what? Okay. You already knew they was gonna call another name.
Let me explain why. Because they had a business meeting the week before, and they basically are trying to. We are so effective that they decided that they don't want people that have spoken before to speak. So when I heard the order in which he was calling people, I didn't think I was. That's why I said it. I didn't think y'all was gonna let me speak. I really didn't expect it. So literally, I was in the crowd handing out flyers. I wasn't ready at all. Like, and even though she did say my name, but I think because I was handing out flyers, I just assumed they wasn't good. Because, like I said, they passed a whole rule saying that newcomers would speak first and that then the other people would speak last. But I know that the person that spoke before me, I know I had written my name on the list before them. So when they called her first, I was like, okay, they're not calling me. And I had pretty much given up. So I was, like I said, I was out here passing out flyers for our call to actions. I was getting busy. Okay. So when she called my name, I'm like, oh, okay. So that's why I was running.
Okay. I love it. Okay. And I think that's a little janky thing they do to kind of suppress your voice, because
Jason Black says,
if you're there first, you should speak. Like, what is it?
Exactly.
Why is it like
nobody else is doing that? It's a special rules they got for New York. But like Jason Black says, this is good.
Yes.
That means we are effective. You know what I'm saying? So they mad. You know what I mean? So that's why we need the family to really send these emails. For our call to actions, and we'll explain about that later. But this is why we need the family's help.
All right, let's play it.
Reparations are not about redlining or gentrification. These are symptoms. The root cause is slavery. The harm to freedmen in New York City began with chattel slavery and wounds that remain open. Let's be clear. Puerto Ricans were enslaved by Spain. Jewish people were persecuted by Germany, and Caribbean nations were colonized by various European powers. But only Black Americans were enslaved on this soil by this government, and for centuries it was enshrined in law. Today, someone mentioned Haitians migrating after the revolution. What they didn't mention is that Black collaborators who sided with the French were being killed by the formerly enslaved in Haiti. Those who escaped fled with their white owners and lovers to Louisiana, where they owned plantations, enslaved people under a different legal system. That group owes reparations too. Yet we're constantly told to unify behind struggle narratives that erase ours. In 1951, Ricky Ricardo, a Hispanic man, was married to a white woman on national TV. Meanwhile, Black entertainers couldn't even use the same bathrooms as their white colleagues. In a 1963 article in the Negro Digest by Lennox, I think I got that name wrong, by Lennox, describes how West Indian immigrants were treated better and given more opportunities than foundational Black Americans. Some were even classified as white. He cited a Trinidadian who was given a home loan, then refused to rent to Black Americans, mirroring America's exclusion of the freedmen. The book Back of the Hiring Line by Roy Beck outlines how immigration surges over 200 years created a loose labor market, suppressing wages and blocking Black Americans from economic mobility. It highlights how immigration policies have widened the racial wealth gap. Even Frederick Douglass and Barbara Jordan supported tighter labor migration to protect Black workers. Now we hear talk of co-ops and housing opportunities, but as recent testimonies have shown, Black New Yorkers have already been displaced. So who are these co-ops for? They not restoring what was taken from the freedmen. To this commission, if you were truly interested in studying history, please hold a hearing presentation on how immigration has
I'm on
harmed
live.
foundational Black Americans.
I'm being interviewed right now.
Benefit from our struggle, then move on while we remain stuck. I've watched y'all nonprofits spin y'all heels, reports, grants, promises, no real change. We don't need no handlers. Look at the Asagi Nation and their
Thank you. Thank you, Brooke.
Even melanin.com.
Love that at the end. Okay. Okay. So you were going off, and I want to ask you some questions about that. But before I do, audience, can we get a round of applause? Can we get a round of applause for our good sister Brooke and her standing on lineage business at the New York reparations hearing? Can we get a round of applause for that? Thank you so very much for what you're doing, okay? Because it's needed. It is so needed in today's time. Is so needed. You got a whole bunch of people faking their lineage. You got people coming up with hidden agendas, trying to shoehorn in or Trojan horse in a bunch of Democrat DNC things going on. So we need people who are there strictly on lineage business, and I thank you for that. Okay. You said something about Haitians. What did another speaker come up and say something about Haitians getting reparations or whatever? Can you explain? Because I'm starting to hear that a lot with Haitians in particular about their ties to America and their ties to reparations.
Yes. So we had every hearing, they do a presentation on history. And this time it was a presentation on gentrification. And they always feel the need to bring up, other tiny groups of people that may have been here at earlier times. Most of the time it's not before 1870 or 1865. And so that is a lot of our issues, with them, is because, like I said, this bill is unconstitutional. The bill which the commission is founded on is unconstitutional because it is not lineage based. So for it to not be lineage based, they have expanded the time frame. They are talking about whatever Black people in New York have been through from slavery to the present. And that's problematic. You know what I mean? It makes it so broad and so vast so that, of course they're doing it so that they can involve other groups other than, the foundational Black American and legally freedmen. So this is the issue that we've been having. So they mentioned how Haitians were here, and then they mentioned how some of them came over after the revolution, and then they mentioned how the Hispanics were here. And so that is why I referenced those two groups. It's so funny because during the business meeting, they talked about how, they wanted to silence our voices because we keep saying the same thing over and over. Now, there are certain things that we are saying over and over. And as President Devine said, we're saying it over and over because the truth don't change. Okay,
that's true.
But I specifically tailor my speech to what is being said because I write it on the spot. There's only one speech where I wrote beforehand, and that was just my speech in Rochester. That's the only speech, I came prepared with. Everything else is written in the audience. So that is how I make sure to, to speak, because most of the time I'm so pissed at the presentation. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm in the corner furious, with my eyes and then backing the phone up like this because, I be having issues seeing. But, so it's like I'm so when they say that we're not speaking to the topic is ridiculous. We speak to the topic every time, and like I said, the truth doesn't change though. So I think you want me to talk specifically about what I said about the Haitians, and what I said is that it's a historical fact that during the Haitian Revolution, we all know that the first thing that the Haitians did was kill the Black collaborators. I always like to mention that because that is my favorite part about the Haitian Revolution, because I feel that that is how they were able to accomplish a lot of what they accomplished. So when we have conversations with other people, I always let them know that, you guys revere the Haitian Revolution, but we haven't done what the Haitians have did. We didn't kill the Black collaborators. We're just delineating and disaggregating our numbers from them.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're not chopping their heads off with machetes. Excuse me. Sorry, I be forgetting.
Come on. We on YouTube, not TikTok.
Okay. I'll be like, whew, Lord have mercy. I know my speech could be like very Anyway, we're not doing that. All we're doing is delineating and disaggregating our numbers. So I always like to mention that. But moving forward, so once they killed the Black collaborators first, there were a lot of they were doing that, and and mulattoes found out that that's what was happening. Please remember that the Haitian Revolution was 13 years. So during that time, people were getting on boats to escape. You know what I'm saying? The French were bringing their mulatto concubines, their mulatto shorties. You know what I'm saying? With the mulatto babies. You understand what I'm saying? With them. Because some of them was their kids. Right? To Louisiana. Now, Louisiana at the time was under French rulership. So the slavery rules were not the same. So these mulattoes were given property. They were given slaves. That they worked just as hard. When people talk about Black people owning slaves, they don't realize, like, when it comes to us, we had to go buy our family members. If you wanted your mama to be free, you had to go get her and pay for her. If you wanted your sister to be free, if you wanted your child to be free, you hope that you were given the opportunity to pay for them and to get them. So yes, there are times when we as family members owned our family members, but we didn't own them. We purchased their freedom.
Yeah.
Now, these people were given plantations where they worked their slaves. They weren't purchasing their family members. They're not from here.
Okay.
They had full working plantations. Okay.
So they were no different from the American slave masters.
No different. Not one iota. Except for the fact is if they left Louisiana, they could be sold into slavery. So really? They would never right, because they so Black. So they had their own, they delineated from us back then. Okay? Because we were Black, right? And they were the Creole gens de couleur. That was their designation. That was their legal designation under law. That made them separate and apart from the people they held in bondage. Okay? I'm not like those Black folks. I'm not like the Black people in this continent. I'm from somewhere else. I'm the Creole gens de couleur. So when we talk about delineation, they delineated from us a long time ago, as far as I'm concerned. And like I said in my testimony, if you want to talk about, should we share reparations? Hell no, we shouldn't share reparations. As a matter of fact, they owe us a couple dollars.
Yeah, if we're gonna tell the truth about it, if we adding them in the conversation, let's calculate what they owe. And that's the way I'm talking about it today, because everybody, you want to keep adding people in there. It seemed like everybody was in on it. So
and
that
like
means
I
there's a
said,
price
y'all
to
making
pay.
the block hot. Don't let me, because I would have left that alone. But since you want to crowbar everybody into it, I got to tell the truth. I got to tell the truth on how it is. You should have shut up. And then, like I said, with the Hispanics, we all know they was white. Nobody had a problem with Ricky Ricardo and Lucy. I Love Lucy. I know everybody's seen I Love Lucy. So you know I ain't lying. When I talk about that, he was a Hispanic, married to a whole white woman, while Sammy Davis Jr., he wanted to marry a white woman, and they made him marry a black one. You know the story? They said, hell no.
They said, no,
We're
not
going
you.
to give you this black woman. You marry her. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about whether he was wrong or right. I'm just saying he was not seen the same as Sammy Davis Jr. They didn't empty the pool when Ricky Ricardo came to town. Ricky Ricardo wasn't afraid to eat at lunch counters. So, and that is why, I mention these things, because they want to paint like the Hispanics are the same as us. They want to paint that, you know what I'm saying, that other groups are the same as us. And then I went on to talk about that letter. The letter that was written for oh my goodness gracious, I believe it was a NOI paper. And his name was Lennox Raphael. And he wrote it was the Lennox Raphael. I believe he was Jamaican, if I remember correctly. And he was writing a letter, warning us of his countrymen or his, status group, whatever. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like other West Indians or other Caribbeans. Because back in the day, they used to be West Indians, and now they like against that term. West Indians.
Now it's like that's
right,
offensive. Now it's like everything
I don't know.
that was cool yesterday is a slur today.
What's up is down, and what's down is up.
Slur? Sometimes I think they want a slur. I'm like, do y'all want to insult? Do y'all want a slur? Because why are y'all offended about it today? We've always been offended about the N-word. That's not nothing new. Y'all making something to be offended about. Y'all want everybody want their own N-word
because they claim it's like, I don't understand why it would be incorrect, because they do have like both types of India heritage, like Indian heritage, like India from India, and then supposedly y'all supposed to be natives, right? I don't know, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, that's what they used to be called. So for that letter, he was warning people about the things that they were doing. And and here's the thing, and I'm going to say this because I only had 3 minutes, but don't y'all tell us that out of one there's many?
That's true.
When we sit here and when Black Americans think that there are only Black Jamaicans, aren't they the ones that correct us and let us know? No. We got Jamaicans of all races. We got white Jamaicans. We got Asian Jamaicans. We got Indian Jamaicans. And we got Black Jamaicans. So y'all the one that informed me, us, that there were different racial groups of West Indians. So how the heck can we just add y'all in and some of y'all are considered white?
That's a good
some
that's
of
a good
y'all
thing.
Right. Some
because
of y'all,
I mean that kind of segues us into what happened with Kamala. They was all like, oh no, come on, her dad is Indian. I'm all like, but yeah, y'all saying Indian as if that equals Black. Okay, but we know better than that.
He would never say
that's
he
why we
Black.
had to do her background. I'm all like, we know better than that. And then when we look at her background, I'm all like, oh no, y'all can't just assume it's in everybody coming from Jamaica is a certain race, because that's not accurate.
And they will
But
tell
you got
you
it.
that.
Yeah. To
They
your
will
point,
tell
that's
you that.
exactly correct.
Because like I said, and then when you see a white person with the Jamaican flag and we upset about it, don't they make excuses? And they say out of one there's many. Y'all, y'all Black Americans, y'all think y'all own Blackness. No, they're whatchamacallit too. Okay, well then if they Jamaican too, you claiming them, then claim them. You can't claim them today and then don't claim them during the hearing.
Yeah.
Come on. Because I ain't going to let that slide.
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Daniels might let that slide. That's he on the commission. He and Cobra and all of them. All the thing. IB 25. I don't freaking know the number. You know,
Yeah.
can't keep the name of all these Pan-African cults, as my sister Keisha talks about on Thorough Black Talk. I can't keep these cults together. I can't keep all the names together. Look, I be trying to remember all the facts. I can't remember y'all names too.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. And this is why delineation is so necessary, because as you said before, the whole setup is unconstitutional, and every single last one of them know that.
Yeah, they do.
And none of them are saying anything because they want it to fail. They do.
And that was one of my testimonies. Y'all was set up to fail, and you know it. They didn't give y'all no budget. They didn't give y'all no staff. They only gave y'all a short amount of time. And they just extended the time. But they know. And let me explain how we know that they know, right? Because President Devine of the U.S. Freedmen Project sat down with Kathy Hochul's legal team.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Shout out to President Devine. I know he's out there. He's always standing on business.
Always. So, and I want people to understand that before I got involved with the U.S. Freedmen Project, they was already doing work. I got on board with what they was doing because I saw I didn't know what to do. But I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to get involved, I wanted to get involved. And I asked them, I want people to understand that. Like, this isn't a me thing. I asked them, how can I be down? Y'all doing it out here. So President Devine, like I said, he met with Kathy Hochul's legal team and explained to them why it was unconstitutional. You mean to tell me the governor's legal team did not understand what little old U.S. Freedmen Project had to say? They understood. Yeah. They know it's illegal. They know it's unconstitutional. They moved forward anyway. And I want you to understand that not only did they do that, but they had town hall meetings where they sat and they educated legislators and the public on what lineage-based reparations is, what it looks like, what it should be, and what it better be. And they still marched forward with this. At least the Freedmen Project was able to remove all of, because let me tell you something, President Devine talks about it all the time, how they had in Cobra, IB 20, whatever, in the bill. They were supposed to get money in the bill. Not only that, but they wanted so many seats that they would have had the deciding vote. I think they wanted like 5 seats out of 9, I believe. They wanted 5 seats on the commission. So they would have been able to vote whatever they wanted. And they would have, whether we got reparations or not, they'd have got their money because the money was in the bill. But the Freedmen Project was at least able to remove that. And I try to say this whenever I'm somewhere public speaking about New York reparations. I want people to understand, because I don't want them to be deflated at the end of this process, because this is going to be a process. Because the current bill we have now is unconstitutional. They got 18 more months. They're going to be doing these hearings all the way up to January 2027. For something that's unconstitutional. They just got $5 million more. Paris let me know that. They just got $5 million more. So, it's unconstitutional. So this bill is trash. Understand, we are just stopping them from siphoning money off of us, because this bill is trash. And we just want to make sure that it stays trash. You understand what I'm saying? We have another bill, right, with Assembly Member Nikki Lucas, that the Freedmen Project wrote, mirroring, learning from the bill in California. So Nikki Lucas and the Freedmen Project, they wrote that bill together. Late nights, early mornings, together. President Devine, Reverend Coachman, Annette. Those are my Freedmen aunties. Okay, I feel like they don't, because they, they aunties, so they in the background. They not on social media. They not, you know what I'm saying? But I want people to know about my aunties because they are fierce. Reverend Coachman lets us use her church. And when people talk about how corrupt the church are, big churches are corrupt. You know who's letting us in? Small churches. You know whose videos are going viral for speaking out against what's happened, or the different things that are happening in small churches. So don't look at all the churches and all the pastors as bad. There are some that are super Democrats, but there are some that not. And let me tell you something, Reverend Coachman is our prayer warrior. She, like I said, she lets us use her church. She's been involved from the very beginning, before I even knew what a U.S. Freedmen Project was. And my auntie Annette, she is what made me feel comfortable to come in and to just be like, whatever, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Can I serve? Can I, you know what I'm saying? What can I do? What can I do? And she was like, okay, baby, you know what I'm saying? Yes, come. So it was the love that I got from, so I just want to take time. Let's because I think sometimes I get a little nervous when people kind of focus on me, but I want people to know about like the team, the U.S. Freedmen Project team and the people that was behind it. But so yeah, they took time, early nights. So they wrote that bill before I even knew what they was. Okay. And they wrote this bill with Nikki Lucas. And Nikki Lucas, our assembly person, our FBA assembly person, she is our superhero, because we would have nobody to bring these bills forth if it wasn't for her. And she takes a lot of, hits, and she take them like a champ, and she just keep on going. She does not stop fighting for us. So they wrote a bill, and that bill is constitutionally sound. So that is, part of the email letter writing campaign. What I'm asking for is the family to email our legislators to get them.
Let me pull that up actually, because this is, hold on. This is the page. So where because the page, I've pinned that to the top of the chat room so you guys know. So we're gonna walk through it. So where do they find like the email list and all of that stuff?
So go up. You see one? So you click that, and once you click that, that's going to take you to like a form. It takes less than 30 seconds for each email, right? So then you just, fill out your name and stuff like that, and then you click another page, and then it'll show you the actual letter, and you're going to be sending it to like 100, legislators all at one time, right? Then you click send, and that's it. So less than 30 seconds. So the other 3 emails that we have, because there's 4 total, well, actually 5 now, but there's 5. Yeah, there's 5 total. The other 3 emails that we have, the next 3 emails, I should say, are for us to delineate and disaggregate here in New York. Right. So the first email is going to go to the legislators. The next email is going to go to the governor, and the next email is going to go to the Black Task Force. Right?
Okay, so this email or this page goes where, to who?
This one is about our bill. It's going to the assembly people and senators, or every single assembly person, every single senator in New York. Because we want a co-sponsor. We need co-sponsors, because it can't just be Nikki Lucas on her own. We need co-sponsors and a sponsor.
Okay.
So
this
and another sponsor.
Okay.
This is to implore them to support a constitutionally sound bill.
Okay.
And stop this nonsense. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what the first one for. Like I said,
the bills are named. The bills are named A5603, or
yes, so that's the bill that we want. Yes, so
Okay, this
that's the
one.
bill we want,
Okay.
85603. And because I tried to, if you want to read the bills, if you click that, it'll take you to the bill so you can read them yourself. Completely transparent. There you go. Straight to the
Okay.
bill. You can read it, see it,
Okay,
you
and
know
then
what I'm
it
saying?
kind of
Who,
shows the status
everything.
too, so that's good.
Absolutely. Everything. You can use this page to check on the bills if you want to. Everything. Like I said, we try to be completely transparent. So the more you want to know, I do try to put it on there. It's a lot to read, but you should read it. This is how I found myself going to this is where I met the U.S. Freedmen Project at the Schomburg when they were having a conversation about reparations. And I always make the joke that, I didn't know what to do. And I came to the Schomburg with my manila folder. I'm such a nerd. I came to the Schomburg with my manila folder with the bill inside, highlighted with my notes and everything.
All
And I
right.
walked up. I'm such a
She said
nerd.
it was highlighted. She wasn't missing nothing.
Because I forget things,
I love it. I love it.
It was highlighted, notated, all kinds of stuff. And I walked up to President Devine and I'm like, the bill is unconstitutional. And he laughed at me. It was like, not laughed at me, but he just like gave me the smile, like, we know, we've been working hard on it. And I was like, really? What y'all been doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how, and the rest is history. But yeah, so I implore people to read the bills. It will piss you off.
Yeah, this is very
Well, not
detailed. I
our
can
bill,
tell
but
you
their
guys spent a lot of time working on this
bill. Yes,
with the
50.
numbers and getting all the
Yes, with the
information.
numbers. Yes. And stuff I had heard somebody try to say that they at one point in time that the US Freedmen Project was trying to, like, you see how they allocated money in the bill?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's necessary. But people who don't know how to do these things, not saying that I do, because I did not write this bill, but Nikki Lucas knows how to, you understand what I'm saying? And the Freedmen Project, you're right. So in conjunction, the two of them together knew that they had to allocate money in the bill, because that is one of the things that they did not do for this commission. They did not allocate money for the bill. So now they had this thing, and then they had to go hat in hand to beg for $5 million. You understand what I'm saying? For what, 18 months, 18 more months. They didn't have no staff. They didn't have a budget. They had nothing. Like I said, they were designed to fail from the beginning. But see, the bill that we have is designed to win. So it's going to allocate money in the budget. And that money does not go to the U.S. Freedmen Project. It goes to the commission for doing the work. Right now, the commission they paying all these presenters. They get paid. The last presenter in Brooklyn was a goddamn student.
Wow.
He wasn't no expert. The one talking about the Haitians and the Hispanics and the this and the that. He wasn't even an expert. He was a goddamn student. But I'm sure he didn't do that presentation for free. And it was the second time they presented.
Okay. So they just playing games at this point.
All right now. So you see what I'm talking about. I'm sure he didn't do that presentation for free. I don't know who cousin it was.
Also, I see here on the website, you guys can enter your email address so you guys can get notifications. And if you guys might not have time to keep going back and forth and looking it up, you can also download it. It has a downloadable file, so you can download it, and that way you can keep it on your
and print it out, read it,
computer,
and put it in your manila folder.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, keep the physical copy of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just in case. Okay, so that's that. So, and all of this, so you guys know, all of this is pinned, because the link to the website for all of that stuff is pinned at the top of the chat room. So go to the top of the chat room. I got that pinned up, and go to that link, and that link will take you to the site. And I will also put that in the comments section, so that way, anytime you guys come back here, you guys can just go to the comments section, and then you guys can get to the links. Oh, okay.
Thank you so much. Oh man, I appreciate that. We're trying to, if I could get all 44 million of us to send an email, that would be great.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
my goal.
Yeah, I'm
That's
working
my
on that.
goal, right?
I'm trying.
I
Okay, so
want
this is
every single one of us.
yeah,
Okay, and including some allies. Come on, get the allies to send the emails too, because you know they can't do a lot, but you can send an email, right? Come on.
yeah. Prove earn your stripes.
Come
Y'all get to
on.
earn your stripes on this one. Come on.
Come on. Do what you gotta do. Help us out. If you really about that life, right? All these Pan-Africans and whatnot, help us out. Right? You
Yeah.
about do that.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so this is the bill, the A5603. That's the corrective bill for
Yeah.
reparations, and then you have the A769. What this 691? That is the
Mm-hmm.
unconstitutional bill. So
Yeah.
I like the fact that you have both of these bills up here, so you can
Mm-hmm.
compare and
Side by
contrast
side.
what is right and what is incorrect. Okay.
You know I'm a nerd, so I want to,
Yeah.
for all my fellow nerds out there, I want to make it available. If you want to read like I wanted to read, you want to print it out and get your highlighter. You know what I mean? I want to make that easy and available for you. So I'm not just going to ask you for your help. I'm going to show you why we need your help. If you are so inclined to take that time. If not, you could just click that thing. It's less than 30 seconds and send that email. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to take my word for it, and I appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Slavery in New York. Okay. All of this stuff, and yeah, I'm already seeing some language that's it doesn't start off talking
Some
about lineage, and
unconstitutional
then I'm
language.
starting to see now this is the messed up bill because I'm
Yes.
already seeing where they're talking about facto racial, and the situation is not a racial situation, even though it happened because of our race, because of our blackness. It's an ethnic issue. You understand? Because of the country
Absolutely.
we're in. It's an ethnic issue. It's an FBA issue. And you see the facto racial economic discrimination against people of, get this, African descent. Okay? So everybody and their mama is going to come up here and they talk about how they of African descent. Look, Mandani. We was just talking about Mandani earlier. Mandani was
And
born in Africa. He's
he
gonna be able
said
to
it.
come up there and say, "Hey, I'm of African descent." I mean, what does that mean?
Understand, he said it. That's one of the clips that I played during my 5-hour special on Mandami. Okay, he said it in the reparations hearing because remember he's an assembly person. He said it. He said, "I would qualify because I am of African descent." He said it out his mouth. And we all know he has no problems doing that because that's how he was trying to get into college. By using the fact that he called himself an African American because he was born in Uganda. He is an African American. And this is the problem with that term. It is so co-optable. That right there is an African American. Not only is he an African American, but he studied Africana studies. That's why it's super insulting for him to be doing the things that he's doing because he studied us. He supposedly studied the people in the diaspora, so he knows what happened, right? Right.
Yeah.
Not only did he study us, his father is a professor in Africana studies, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
true.
super insulting. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing, and that's why I can't stand him.
And this is why we got to make sure we read the fine print, because the thing is that when people hear reparations, we think, oh, finally, we take a sigh of relief, like, oh my God, okay, we're finally getting somewhere, so something's getting done. But you got to make sure you look at the fine print. And I want to shout out to y'all in New York for making sure y'all looked at this and not just let this slide, or not just threw your hands up in the air, be all like, oh, here they go again, I guess we never gonna get it. I mean, it's a waste of time. Y'all been out there and y'all have really sound the alarm of how unconstitutional and really to be very honest, not even just unconstitutional, but how unethical this is. Because it's
Absolutely.
unethical to pay people off of the suffering of other people when they're not a part of that claim.
Absolutely. It's unethical, and it is very. This is something else I said in one of my testimonies. The fact that y'all are siding with them, y'all sat here, y'all come from y'all are very aware of buffer class leadership. Y'all are very aware of putting people in place who do not have the people's interest at heart, because you come from countries where that happens. And so you don't see who the right people are in your countries, but you feel that you could come here and tell us that we shouldn't be able to see through our buffer classes? That's number one when it comes to Mondami. And then number two, when it comes to the reparations, now you are siding with them. As President Devine says, I can't even get to the white supremacists because they're in the way. They're in the way. They are providing the cover. They're the ones that because Ed Blum, I wanted to make sure I talked about this. Ed Blum has already vowed his life to make sure to make, the same one who took down affirmative action. He has vowed
with the help of Asians, the people of color,
with the help
that they
of the
really need
Asians. Come on, with some more people of color, another buffer class. That West Indian should know very well, because that same buffer class is over in Jamaica and other islands.
Real talk, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the inability to peep the buffer classes when they are this is the exact same things that are happening in your countries that y'all are telling us that are happening in our countries, but yet when you come here, you sit there inside with the buffer class. You think that they got your best interest? Do they have your best interest in your countries? Do they have? Because that's why he got kicked out of Uganda. So when I sit there and I see my Africans from Mandami, how you going to be Africans from Mandami? Y'all kicked them out first. Explain that to me. And then the same thing, you know what I'm saying, with people, signing with the Chinese. Are you mad because we peeped it before we let them do what they do to you? Well, what is happening here? Because we're not gonna let that happen. I see play. We learn from other people's mistakes. We're not gonna sit there and let them keep happening and 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 happening. No. Okay, we got tricked with Obama. That's it. We done. I've had it. That's enough.
Yep, that was their last time running that play. That was
exactly.
And I said that before. That's the last time ever running that play of, hey, come on, don't you need black faces in high places? Don't you need someone who's not white? That was their last time running the, well, they're not white, so that's our best option play. And we've seen that has not worked since Obama. That's not worked since then.
And as New Yorkers, you should see that it didn't work with the mayors, because at least with de Blasio and his lying behind, but at least you could be like, hold his feet to the fire and be like, oh, you're you know what I'm saying, you kind of racist, because then he had the black wife as a cover. You know what I'm saying? But still, at least you could be like, this is racist. You got to do something. And he felt the need, like, to have to do something to try to keep up appearances. And what did Mayor Adams come out? He came out with the HNIC attitude all the time, telling people what they bet not do and where he going and who he is, and he hot stepping all the goddamn time, wagging his finger at everybody. And that's when we had the situation at the nail shop. And we were asking him, like, are you going to do something about this? Are you going to shut this place down? Or what are you going to do? You know what he was busy doing as the borough president of Brooklyn? He was busy having a vegan tour, wagging his finger at black people, telling us not to eat chicken. If you don't get that, now ain't nothing wrong with being a vegan. Ain't nothing wrong with eating. Well, there might be things wrong with eating chicken, but I eat it anyway. Anyway. I'm not here to judge, you know what I'm saying? That part about it. But we got bigger fish to fry than worrying about that right now. But he was silent on that. Busy sitting there talking about, oh, you know what I'm saying? Telling people what to eat and what not to eat. So when it comes to it seems like when it comes to these black people or the buffer classes, we can't even hold them accountable on nothing, because then they come at us with I'm the HN in charge. I'm the head and in charge. Every single time he came out, he was either, child, I don't know, because when it comes to Eric Adams, things just start falling out my mouth. How can I say this nicely? Well, it doesn't have to. When it comes to Eric Adams, he was either on his knees, begging, lying, talking about we the Pakistan of the world, of the U.S. We the Trinidad of the U.S. Any country, people, whatever people he was in front of, we that of the U.S. There's a video going around where they chopped it up. Every single one. We the Jamaica of the U.S. We the Trinidad of the U.S. We the Haiti of the U.S. We the Pakistan of the U.S. We the what's the country he got caught taking money from? We the Turkey of the U.S. That's what he do. So when I say he spent his whole term on his knees. And then when we would try to hold him accountable for all the shucking and jiving he was doing, then that's when he come out with the head and in charge routine. That's why we can't deal with these intermediaries. Get me straight to the white supremacists. Because nothing was annoying me than him all over the place all the time, beating his chest like he's somebody. And that's why I was real happy when Biden ignored him and he felt like a
that's
Biden's
that wake-up call he got.
He sure did. He got that wake-up call, honey. He sure did. And I was happy for it. Happy for it.
But
that's the problem.
I want to get back to the website because I don't know if we finished going through all of the things, because then you kind of break down what is disaggregation, and essentially what that means is separating our ethnic group from other ethnic groups and not lumping us all in one racial group. Why it matters, and you highlighted the reasons as to why it matters, and then down here we have some more links to things. So can you explain what these links go to?
Right. So this is sending letters to the Black Task Force asking them to support this bill by Nikki Lucas again to disaggregate our numbers. Right. So again, 30 seconds. And did I put the link to that bill there?
Okay. Well, this is the first link.
That's the link to the emails. Okay,
that's this one.
I didn't put the link, but I can. So come back tomorrow and that link will be fixed, or maybe even after the broadcast. I'll fix that link and I'll put the link to that bill there as well. I didn't realize.
Okay, so these are all the same email forms, but these are going to different
people. Yes.
Okay.
So that one is going to go to the Black Task Force. The next one is going to go to all the legislators, the senators, and the and assembly people. And then that one's going to go to the mayor. I mean, to the governor, Kathy.
Okay.
Thank you. Hold you. Yeah. And then, so this is a new request.
Gonna be so surprised that you know how to operate a computer. She knows she doesn't think black people operate computers. You don't think.
Oh, you remember that when she was talking about the kids from the Bronx? Yeah. But Kathy Hochul, from day one, she's been in support of private prisons. And I don't think a lot of people know that. So when she's sitting there signing the bill with Lala. And was Fat Joe there? I think Fat Joe might have been there too. When she was signing that bill to erase your record, right? To expunge your record. I want people to understand that she wants to lock your black behind up first. She wants to lock you up, pay you pennies, and then when she's finished with you, she'll expunge your record. See, but Fat Joe ain't thinking about that. And neither is Lala.
All right. And I think that I'm glad that you brought them up, because this just shows what Malcolm X was talking about why celebrities cannot represent the community. Okay. Let's say, even though it could be the case, let's say they're not monetarily benefiting off of private prisons. Let's say Fat Joe and Lala isn't. Okay. What are they experts in besides being entertainers? And then to say experts and entertainers is kind of a stretch there too. But
Lala would be
like,
an
what are they?
expert in
How are
plastic
they able to
surgery.
speak on this issue?
Lala would be an expert on plastic surgery because she looked completely different.
Yeah.
And she thought it was child. Let's not get into the gossip. She thought it was gonna keep a man, but it didn't. But it didn't help her brain. She didn't get no surgery there. She ain't asked for no extra brain cells. Because she sat, like I said, she's sitting there talking, like I said, this woman is for private prisons. You don't get that? I think people don't think about things like you only see this part. You don't see the forest for the trees. She's sitting there, got y'all shucking and jiving and got y'all like puppets. Y'all come down there, and at the same time, she's like I said, she wants to lock you up first. Then when she's finished with you, I'll expunge your record. But how much years have you lost by then? How much money have you lost by then? How much of your family, your time with your children, have you lost by then? Because the whole reason why we were fighting and asking for them to defund the police was because I want to because people don't say his name. They don't even talk about him no more. People don't think of, oh my gosh, now I'm blanking on the name. What's the young man who was in Rikers for a book bag?
Right.
He was in Rikers for a book bag. I'm gonna tell the story, and somebody's gonna remind me of his name because I'm just blanking right now. But I want to make sure that we talk about this. So he was arrested for stealing a book bag. He did not have the money. Jay-Z did a documentary on him. He didn't have the money.
Is called Khalif Browder or something like
Khalif
that, right?
Browder, thank you.
Khalif Browder.
Yes, Khalif Browder. So Khalif was arrested for stealing a book bag. And then he went to Rikers, and he didn't have the bail money, and they kept pushing his case back because they said the person who book bag it belonged to was not a citizen and went back to Central or South America. Yes. Went back to Central or South America. So they did not have a witness. But they kept this boy in jail for 3 years. His mother was going back and forth because I think he was adopted or in a foster family or something like that. His mother was going back and forth to see him. Then he finally got out. So when he got out, he was advocating for what happened. What people don't know is that when he got out, he got robbed because people thought he had money now because of his lawsuit. He was shot. And he was a child. I can't remember how old he was at the time, but he was very, very young. And so they had him in solitary for a long time because he was small and he was having a lot of problems fighting and whatnot. So they kept him in solitary a lot. When he got home, he would walk his backyard. And anybody in New York, our backyards are like 6 by 9. You know what I'm saying? A little gated area. So if you have a house, that's what the backyard would be. So he would walk the backyard like he's in his cell.
Oh, wow.
His mother would be like, why don't you take a walk to the park? Why don't you And then one day he committed suicide. He couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take it anymore. And then what happened? His mother died from a heart attack. They ruined the whole family. By putting this boy in jail for something he did not do. They didn't even have a witness for. And we know now that a lot of illegals claim that they are victims of crimes to be able to stay in the country.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little scam thing that they do.
So this is
And
not
the police
something that
are in on it too. I want y'all to know the police are in on it.
So this is not something that I knew at the time, even when I was watching the documentary, but now that I'm talking about it, like, you know what I'm saying? So now we know. So how much of this was even real? So you ruined this boy committed suicide and the mother died all because of what y'all did. And this is why we wanted y'all to defund the police. We did not ask you to let people out who commit violent crimes. We didn't ask for no bail for people who commit violent crimes. We asked for no bail for people who do small things like steal book bags. But you see the 5,000-year-old genie trick?
Mm-hmm.
We asked for this. Don't do this. And what did they give us? Illegals getting away with murder. That's what we get. And black people still getting shot in the train station for not paying a fare. I don't think that's known by a lot of people. That not too long ago they shot somebody in the head and an innocent bystander during morning rush hour for $2.90. So while black people are being shot for $2.90, they making a big deal over this fare. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's such a big deal. Somebody said Khalif Browder was 16 years old. Yes, he was 16. Thank you. I didn't want to, speak out of term, but that's what I remember as well.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Bless you. So, as black people are being, and as I've seen other videos where black people are being snatched off the train. Don't forget our brother Jordan Neely.
Yeah.
Where black people being snatched off the train, all these things, but the illegals are able to run. Let me tell you something. The illegals are out here in the train station selling mangoes. The food department not worried about it because I seen them cutting it up and they nasty. They licking the knife. First of all, let me just tell you this. The subway is freaking nasty. Food and the train don't go together. Food to stay covered the whole time. Your drink covered the whole time. Okay? Nothing but a bottle of water should come out on the train. It's so nasty. If you drop anything food related on the floor, it's gone. If I drop let me let you understand. If I drop a lip gloss on the floor in the train station, it's gone. It's dead to me. You think I'm gonna pick it up and put it back on my lips? You're out your mind. So I can get a bum bump.
You should go to the hospital the next day.
What? I look at it, I'll be like, oh man, it's gone. It's gone. You know what I mean? So I try very hard not to drop things in the train station. So understand how nasty that she down there in the train station cutting up food. The police don't have nothing to say about it. The health department don't have nothing to say about it. And then she got a baby in the front and a baby on the side. Child services ain't got nothing to say about it. Now, when the little black kids was selling candy in the train station so they could buy money for their basketball uniforms, so they could go on away games, it was a problem. I remember videos of them tackling an 8-year-old boy. There was a video of little girls. They were having a school fight after school, and the police attacked them like they were grown men. Little black girls fighting each other. They attack them like grown men. But this woman is allowed, they are allowed to run. And let's not talk about the Times Square video, where they actually beat the police down in Times Square.
Mm.
And the police didn't pull a taser. They didn't pull a billy club. They didn't pull out no pepper spray. They just sat there and took it. I ain't never seen NYPD so docile in my life. But for them, you let them do whatever. And this is the, like I said, the 5,000-year-old genie trick that we got when we asked them not to keep our children locked up for 3 years over a book bag.
So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's the way they set it up.
I'm gonna say this. It's not even like damn. It's what it is like you gotta be tight with your language. Okay. You gotta be tight with these people. Like how the Freeman Project did with that. You making sure the money is in there. You gotta be 5-10 steps ahead of them. You gotta think about what would come first. And this is why sometimes, there are certain things that we're doing as as the New York team that may be different from other places. We're not publicizing. I've come to the realization that I don't think publicizing when the hearings are going to be is working out for our favor. Okay. I think we've gone too viral. In the beginning, and I'm going to tell you why I started putting it up. In the beginning, I started putting it up because I really, really hate how people are disparaging New York. I really, really hate it when it comes to reparations. People are assuming that, one, we're not here, and two, that we're not doing work. And I thought it was important. That is why I started posting everybody's videos. I thought it was important for people to see the work that was being done here in New York. But it worked as far as getting the family to see what we've been doing. But I also think it hurt us a little bit because now we have more of them coming than we have of us.
Okay.
And so now, and it's like the spotlight is on these, you know what I mean, the meetings and stuff. Now they got security. That last meeting, we didn't have security. They wasn't checking bags before. They checking bags now. So we got security. And like I said, I think it's bringing people who are wasting, especially now that they have this new rule where we have to go to the back. So,
and how long is that supposed to be? That's just indefinite. Like every meeting you guys are speaking last.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see how that works out. But I'm not gonna be, like pumping the meetings, like pumping the hearings like I used to. I will be pumping these emails though. I need y'all to hit those emails, but because of that, I think that some people who are, and I'm gonna be honest, I think some people, there's a lot of, let me choose my words carefully here. I think the overwhelming majority of the family is loving what we're doing, and I appreciate that love. However, there are a few that I feel are posting things to bring our opposition.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, if you're posting our testimonies and I ask you to post our call to actions and you have a problem with that, why would you have a problem with that?
Yeah. So you're not on board for the change. So you know what I'm saying? It is reason to believe that you have a hidden agenda. Okay.
See, people like to thumb bang. Act like they doing something, or thumb activism. Act like they doing something, but they really ain't doing nothing. There was one person who posted my video before I even got home and didn't post not one call to action. To this day, she had me blocked. Why you posting my testimony? Why you beasting to post my testimony? And don't post not one call to action, or even if you don't tag me. You didn't post our call to actions. And when I ask you about it, you got an attitude. Who you work for?
Mm.
So, you know, I just, like I said, I'm very aware of the fact that we are surrounded by our opposition, and so we may have to switch up how we do things and our tactics as a result.
I understand that, and that does just prove that you are doing something right. Okay,
This,
that you got all these
like
eyes on you.
Jason
That
Black
just
says,
that proves that.
this is good.
Yeah, yeah.
That means we are effective. You know what I'm saying? But we have to keep, keep watch. Keep that third eye open. You know what I'm saying? Because this is something else I'm going to say. And thank you so much for letting me rant a little bit. Because I feel like this is very important for everybody in every state to understand. Something that I think has been a blessing to my life has been the fact that I studied snitches. I studied snitches in the movement. I wanted to know. I have a weird brain. And I told you I'm a nerd. I wanted to know how they were able to infiltrate. And snitches always infiltrate by offering to do any and everything. Was it the Watts poets? I always forget the name. Yeah, y'all know me and the names. I can remember the whole.
I'm bad with names too, so I'll relate to you 100%. Trust me. I mean, the chat room. I love the chat room for correcting me all the time. I'll be all like, "What?"
Yes, I forgot the name.
I'll be feeling
but
old. I said, "What?"
Y'all,
it's a lot, but yeah,
all the things. So the Watts poet something or other, right? He built the stage. He built the sound system. And then when the FBI asked him to, he burnt it down.
Really? Okay.
Okay. Dude that was, that snitched on Fred Hampton.
William O'Neill.
Same similar thing. He was, offering to do any and everything. And then he drugged him and told him where the layout of the house. You understand? So you got to be careful of the people. And another one to understand, another snitch to study is Jesse Jackson. Watch videos of Hosea Williams, Portia Williams' granddaddy. Okay? Hosea Williams was no joke. Okay? And he sits there and he breaks down, you know what I'm saying, how Martin Luther King knew that Jesse Jackson wasn't on the up and up. But he allowed him to be around because he did not think he was a threat, because Jesse was young. Jesse didn't have no real power, but he didn't realize that Jesse was working with them folks. And so he kept him around because he thought, you know what I mean? So I studied the snitches. So it's I study them so that you can, your spirit can be aware of them, and the ancestors, and, or God or the Holy Spirit, whichever one, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't really know who helps me, but somebody does. And whoever it is, they don't have no ego, because I don't get their name right ever, but they still be with me. They still whisper to me, who are the snitches? Who they help me to see? Who? And so you got to be, Al Sharpton too. Somebody put Al Sharpton. Yeah, Al Sharpton too. I'm learning more about his entrance from Sister Keisha on Thorough Black Talk, because she was there. My big sis Keisha is a wealth of New York knowledge. The history from the first time I ever spoke to her, I knew that this woman was gold. Diamonds, platinum, I don't know what's the top, okay? Matter of fact, water, because you can't live without water.
True.
I can live without diamonds and gold, but you can't live without water. And what she knows, what I've learned from her, is like water. So, she was there. So I'm learning more about Al. I heard the little things, but I'm getting, she tells me deeper, about how, Alton Maddox which was our great legal mind, helped Al Sharpton because he had a good heart, and people tried to warn him that Al Sharpton was a snake, and then Al Sharpton bit him. And it's sad for our good good brother Alton Maddox, what he went through, and Sister Keisha by proxy, because she was there. Okay, she was Alton Maddox. She was there helping Alton Maddox and his wife with the work that they were doing with Tawana Brawley and others. So that's why, like, I really love tuning into her about that New York history. But so I'm learning more about Al Sharpton and his treachery, and more than just, because what I knew already was that he was working with the mob. Everybody knows that. That's not a secret.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but with his work with Alton Maddox and how he turned his back on the people that were actually fighting is what I'm learning more about now from Sister Keisha. And so it's just, we have to be very astute and listen to words that people say, because there are people currently that I hear, listen for those feminist twinges. There are people who are hiding in these spaces. They're hiding on these things. They're pretending to be other people. They're sending out SOS calls for you to do what? If you really, I'm not even gonna go there. They're doing all of these things to get us trapped up. They're trying to get in the inner circle. They're having sex with people in the movement. So they can get to that pillow talk. Or go from the pillow talk to pointing fingers.
And that's something, I'm glad you're saying that, because that's something that's going to be happening a whole lot.
A whole lot.
It's going to be happening
so
a whole
really
lot,
need
y'all.
to, you know what I'm saying? Settle down. Settle down. Because trying to play the field right now, and I'm going to tell you personally that the Democrats have sent men to me. They think I don't know. But honey, I can see. I know you sent the snitches to me. You thought I was going to fall because he was handsome. You thought I was going to fall for it. I know who you sent.
I appreciate you standing on it, because the thing is that a lot of people, that's how they get you. And I'm gonna say this:
they send what they know you like.
Yeah, they know your type. They know
your type already, honey.
On your internet and all that stuff. They know what you like on Instagram, so they are like, okay, well, that's her type, and we gonna send him over there. He gonna be real charming, and he's gonna be real nice and friendly and warm, and seem kind of educated on the subject, and gas her up. And next thing you know, she giving him all of the secrets or whatever. And I want y'all to understand that snitches are not going to present themselves as snitches. Opposition is never going to present themselves as that. They're going to present themselves as help, as assistance, okay? Or as somebody who is very curious, who wants to be involved, but they don't know, and they send up there like, okay, well, what's the plan? Where are we going to meet? Who's in charge? What is going on? That's what, I just want to help you guys. And they're asking a lot of questions and stuff. So that's how,
and as soon as you give them some responsibility, everything blows up. Why? Nothing works out. Why? It's extra hard. Why? Because they working with them folks and not with you. That's why. And so you really gotta keep your eyes open. There's a I want the family to watch this documentary on Amazon Prime, and it looks like they cut the last few minutes off, because I was just watching it again. It's called They Use Drugs Against Us or something like that. And I always get the name wrong, of course. I'm gonna see if I can find it. But they talk about because it's based on a book, but they talk about in that documentary about how Tupac's mom, right? They talk about Tupac's mom and how after the stepfather went to jail, she was by herself. She didn't have no money, and she had these kids, and I think she was pregnant, right? And she had these kids. And what they did was they sent her a big time drug dealer that was working with the government. And he not only did he sweep her off her feet, help her pay her bills, help do, you know what I'm saying, all this kind of stuff. He got her hooked on drugs. Because don't forget, Tupac's mom's the stepfather did acupuncture in the Bronx to get people off drugs. And it was working. That's why they targeted him. That's why they locked him up, because it was working. He was giving black people or anybody who wanted it. He was giving them acupuncture to get them off drugs. So she was not about drugs. How did she get hooked on drugs? Do you think that she took her first hit on her own, or was she dosed? Because we know that they're not above that. And this is what picking the wrong partner can do. So you got to have, and I want to stress that to the family. You got to be really, I don't know if you pray, whatever you do to keep that eye open to see. You have to see, because I'm telling you, I know for a fact. And then in New York, they're doing this new thing where they're sending, and I saw it happen at the nail shop. They're sending these huge, they're over 6 feet. I'm thinking of one in particular, right? They're sending, well, this is happening all over the country, as a matter of fact. I'm not going to just say they're sending, they know what we want to see. They're not sending any more D-Ray McKessons. That's the one with the blue thing, right? Did I get the name right? I got the name right. They're not sending any more D-Rays anymore. You know who they sending? Big dudes. Dudes over 6 feet. Dudes with booming voices, right? Because they know that the dudes that we're going to perceive as strong. They have learned what we want to see. They're sending, and I just thought about this right now, fake Tariqs. Come on. Tariq is over 6 feet. Tariq has a booming voice. They are sending fake Tariqs.
Oh, that's bad. They be watching. They watch Tariq. They watch him, so they already know. Okay, well, this is kind of
one here in New York.
The community likes. Okay,
and every time there's a problem, he's the first one there. So it looks like he's doing good work. I don't trust it. Like I see the BS. I see the BS. And like I said, I just feel like I'm not saying they all look the same in the face. I'm just saying in presentation. Over 6 feet, very deep voice. Because who do they think is gonna be blinded the most? Women.
I thought you was gonna say you. I'm all like Brooks.
No, not me. Not me. But women. I am a woman. So you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep your eyes open on what's happening, because they're sending men that they think we like. They sending men. These are not bad looking men. They sending men who they think we gonna like. And that's how they get under and in. And like I said, I saw this at the nail shop. I saw somebody with the same characteristics who I had already exposed as weird, because he went in the nail shop and he first of all, he was dressed as a Hebrew Israelite.
Okay.
But all his clothes look brand new. Then while we are out in front of the nail shop saying what we saying, he goes inside the nail shop and talks civilly with the Chinese people. And then when he comes out, I asked him, what'd you talk about? He goes, oh, well, I told him that maybe he should do some sort of discounts. I said, that's why I stopped him. We're not accepting discounts. This place is shut down. He has to go. He threw acid in our grandmother's face. He got to go. They got to go. Pack it up. We don't want nothing. We want them to leave. Then, hours later, this very same person was sitting there trying to cause a problem with the police. Supposedly now he's gung-ho for what we're doing. How? You was just trying to broker a deal. But now you so gung-ho, because we had like a little area in front of the nail, they had like a parking space in front of the nail shop. They had that area all for us. Now all of a sudden, it's unacceptable for us to stay in this spot. We have to congregate in front of the door, which is against the law. It's against the law to block the door of the business. That's why we were where we were. Right? So we could follow the law and do what we needed to do, because as long as we leave, then people will come and spend money, right? So we can't leave. We got to stay there till they close. To remind people not to spend no money, to not go back to business as usual. But if you forcing us out, if you trying to tell everybody else to come out this little area and to come in front of the nail shop, then the police is going to come and shut us down. So how do you go from accepting going in there trying to broker a deal to now you are so gung-ho about what we're doing that you can't even stay in the area, and you got to create a problem with the police with your booming voice and you're over 6 feet? So when I called that out, the women at the nail shop turned on me. They started calling me a slave because I wanted to stay in the area, because I have tunnel vision when it comes to my goal. I'm going to do what it takes to get this nail shop shut down. And if the police say that to stay here, all I got to do is stay in this little parking space, I'm going to stay in the parking space, because I know that me in this parking space is going to stop people from going in here. The police didn't have no problems with us, and we didn't have no problems with the police, and they were happy about that. But you come making the block hot. So that's the first time I saw this tactic being used, and that was in 2018. And I recognized the pattern with the new, I don't even know what to call them, fake activists. They learned when we made fun of D-Ray and his stupid little...
His stunt.
Yeah, like when we made fun of him and his demeanor, how, soft he looked and all that kind of stuff, they learned from that. So they're sending out people. And like I said, I saw a lot of women get mesmerized because he was a tall, over 6 feet, very big man, the very deep voice. And it was like all of the women turned on me for this man. So when I say that, because like I said, I think that is very important. I think it's something that's not really talked about a lot, but when you're doing this work, make sure you keep your eyes out. And it's good for people, like I said, find your person as much as you can. Because dating right now it can be very dangerous. Playing the field, hopping around, moving around, it could be very dangerous. And especially for the men. Can I talk to the men for a second?
Say what you gotta say.
Guys, I know y'all are strong. And I know y'all feel that a lot of things aren't threats. But this is how, in my opinion, this is how Martin was assassinated. Because he was like, Jesse can't beat me. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, just can't beat me. So he didn't take it seriously. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that sometimes, especially when it comes to women, you think because a woman can't beat you, that she can't take you down. And that's not true. All they have to do is put fake allegations on you. All they got to do is put hidden cameras. You know, just all types of things. So you can't think that you could be out here doing this work and playing relationship games. Because they will send somebody you like, whatever it is you like, honey. They gonna send her, okay? They gonna send her what you like. What you like? You like big boobs,
They're gonna
small
go to
boobs?
your Instagram. They're gonna see who you follow. They're gonna be all like,
Come
okay, that's what we
on.
need. That's who we need to clone. They're gonna clone her. She gonna come up to you.
Boom.
Yep.
Boom. And she gonna be very helpful. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, I see this. I've seen it happen. I'm seeing it happen. I'm seeing it happen. I'm seeing it happen in places, and I've seen it happen with people, and I just feel like, you know, I should give the brothers that warning. Like, you know, you better find you a down chick. You know what I'm saying? And just because they sending snitches out here to be with you. And I'll land there.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say this. I mean, it's. I know it's difficult, but this is what it takes. This is what it takes because this is what they do. This is what they've always done. They always send people, and the people are going to. Sometimes they're going to show their hand instantly, and then sometimes it's going to take a minute. Sometimes they're gonna get in there for a minute and they're gonna be doing all of the right things, saying all of the right things, making all of the right moves. They're gonna be
They're gonna have all the right curves.
Yeah. You're gonna assume like this is an angel sent specifically for you. You're gonna be like, thank you, God. This is what it is. And she's gonna be everything you do. Like you said, there's cameras, there's recordings, there's this, there's that. She's gonna be having people pull up on you, and she's not gonna know anything. Y'all better watch out now. Trying to tell you.
Like I said, and that's if you're lucky, because Tupac's mom got shot up with drugs. So if you're lucky, all they do is snitch on you. Because that right there, that's somebody to make you an addict, and you had a whole clinic. Again, that's I don't think people understand that. How did she go from the clinic to an addict to the dear mama side? How? It wasn't her fault. She was dosed. And he was instructed to dose her. Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'll do that for your channel.
Appreciate you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of which, now I know the thing is that I know we trying to stay away from agents, and we trying to stay away from, you know, people who are there to infiltrate or whatever. But you know, they take the assignment because we look so good. That's why they take the assignment. That's why they do that. Okay. And then we look so good because of Breuck, and Breuck has even melanin, okay, on her website. Okay, so we on this. See, this is why they all up on Breuck right now, because of her even melanin. It's real easy. The agents be all like, "Oh, I got that assignment. I'll do some overtime." You got folks signing up to be agents.
Man,
they be all like, "What's the assignment? I got it."
I just now understood what you said. Just hit me what you say. They signing up to be done. I'll take that job. Maybe, honey, because Lord, they following me around. I'll tell you that much. I'll be at events and I'll be like, dang, okay, hi, all right, agent. Like, I see you coming, you know. So yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, they be doing a little too much. That's how you know. They be doing a little bit too much. They forget the assignment. They forget to plant the wire, whatever the case is. They be getting caught up in the moment. They on a for real date with you.
Oh God, that is funny. Nah, son, I see that. I see that. And somebody said, "Is that a makeup line, sweetheart?" I don't wear makeup. I don't wear any makeup. The only makeup I wear, I do eyebrows, I do eyeliner and mascara. The rest of this is just moisturizer and lip gloss, honey. I don't wear makeup because I'm gonna be honest. Why I don't wear makeup, and that's not even to flex. I'm gonna be honest. I have acne and eczema, really bad. So I can't wear makeup because it blocks my pores and it makes me itch. Which is how I ended up starting a skincare line because I had to make a lot of things. My sister Keisha talk about watch them conscious hoes. That's what she call them. Yes, watch them conscious hoes, them Pan-African hoes. Watch them, watch them. Anyway, back to the skincare. But yeah, yeah. So that's how I ended up starting a skincare line is because, you know, it was hard to get something to be in the middle and a balance, even. You know what I'm saying? Because my skin makes a lot of oil, as you can see, I'm kind of shiny. My skin makes a lot of oil, and then you know I have the eczema. Eczema requires your skin to be oily, and acne doesn't respond good to oily skin. Acne, you know, oily skin causes acne to blah blah blah. So I had to figure out things, you know, to be in the middle. And this is like I said, you know, through doing just as nerdy as I am about, you know, our lineage and our history. I am equally as nerdy about skin and hair and things like that. Not necessarily makeup. I'm definitely not a makeup girly, but when it comes to skin and hair, I am definitely a nerd. You know, I'm the latest. I want to know how to do all the stuff, all the things, all the new ingredients. I want to try it, and sometimes to my own detriment. And so, yeah, that's how I started the skincare line. So, but thank you very much.
How long have you been? How long has the skincare line been open?
Oh, I would say maybe like 2 or 3 years now. Because it took me like almost a year because I would come out with like one thing and then but I wanted to get like a whole line together. And so that took a while for me not only to but to come up with all my recipes, to figure out what I wanted to be in the line. I'm still tweaking it every like as I learn new information or whatever, I'll make things better and things like that. But like so I have like a whole line. So if you have acne, I have a whole line from starting from the cleanser all the way to like little acne rollers, you know, for spot treatments. So I have so we go from the cleanser, which does not soap up because it has a low pH, and the low pH is creates the optimal environment for you to absorb a lot of the ingredients, which is collagen, vitamin C, retinol, and caffeine. And so a low pH gives you the optimal environment for you to absorb these things. And my other favorite ingredient is turmeric. And turmeric is, you know, the natural way to even that melanin. You know, we're not going to use any bleach. We're not demo bleaching over here, you know. So but that's how you keep that melanin even. So I have the cleanser, then I have what I call a gel mask. And that gel mask is just something you throw on really fast, and but you know, for or you can leave it on for a period of time. But I call it like conditioner for the face. You know how you when you wash your hair, you got to put that conditioner on, even if you put it on for a second, just to get those, you know, the kinks and stuff out. And so that's like the conditioner for the face. As we get older, our skin makes less and less of a lot of the ingredients that I have in the cleanser and in the gel mask. And so that is what the mask helps to put some of those things back into your skin, you know, that you're making less of as you get older. Then from the gel mask, then if you have acne, then you would use the I have an acne gel, and that is gonna you know, just make sure it keeps your pimples reduced and things like that. I could go into deeper, but I'm gonna keep going through all the products. And then from the acne stuff, then I have two moisturizers. One is an intense moisturizer that you want to use on your eyes more often than you use on your entire face, because it definitely has vitamin C and retinol in it. So you may only want to use that like 3 times a week, especially after you get your skin to where you want it to get to. You know what I mean? Because some people may need a little extra help in the beginning, but when you get to that glow, then you start pulling back and reducing the amount that you use that moisturizer. And then I have something else called a preserve moisturizer. And that one, it doesn't have all of those ingredients, but it gives you moisture just the same. And a little, and the number one thing for anti-aging is moisture. You cannot be dry. Child, if you be dry, you're gonna get wrinkles. Okay. That's my mother taught me. And I'm gonna let you know, moisturize, right? Somebody said Breuck is 94 years old. Yup. Breuck is 94 years
That's
old.
how
I
she
love
know who the
that.
snitches
Yes.
are. That's how she know who the snitches are. She was around. She seen them all.
I'm a vampire. Anyway, so yes, but yeah, so I'm really, like I said, I've been into, I watched my mom, like as my mom was like going through her things, I started learning from her about anti-aging. So I started learning really early. And because I figured that if you start your anti-aging at around like 26, then you'll look 26 forever, right? Don't that make sense? Right. So that was my thought process. So I would say the things that have these products, I wouldn't want to use it. I wouldn't want anybody under 26 to use them, because you don't want your body to stop making the things that we have to now put in. You understand what I'm saying? But if you
Okay.
put that stuff on your face, then your body will go, oh, well, then I don't need to make it. And we don't want to cut those things off before the time. So if you're not 26, don't use anything that has the 5 favorite ingredients. I have other products for you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. BX
Okay,
asks,
okay.
the body scrub is good. Are those are those perks you added seasonal, or can they be found on the website?
Oh no, could be found on the website. I gave you a perk. I didn't even know it was you, BX, but I gave you a perk because I was going to hearings and different I had the conversation, the hearing, all these things at one time, and I didn't get to ship your stuff out till it was super late. So I sometimes I have, because I'm doing the hearings and stuff as well. So sometimes because my shipping is late, I'll throw something in for free, because I know I took forever to send you your stuff, right? But understand, I work nights, I'm going to these hearings, I'm studying. So sometimes, like just work with me. I will get your package to you, but so that is why I put that. But yes, the body scrub is available on my site, but that's why I threw that in for you as a just a little gift for your patience, for working with me.
Okay. What would you say are some of like your best selling items?
The best selling items. Wow. I think the face sets. The face
The
sets,
face
because I
set.
have one
So
for the
those are
acne, and then
masks,
I
right?
have
Those
one,
are the
yeah.
masks. Okay.
The whole cleansing set, going from the cleanser to the mask to the if you don't have acne, then you wouldn't get all the acne stuff in it from the cleanser. So it's a whole set. I believe that's what BX bought. BX bought like a whole, so those are my biggest selling items, are the sets. And then I noticed that my return customers are just like, whatever they're running out of, they're purchasing. And so I have that, and then I have a body oil that also is for anti-aging. I do have, somebody wrote, do I have men products? Yes, I have a beard oil and a beard growth spray. And so those things are available on my website as well, in honor of my dad and his beard, which I loved very much as a child.
Yes.
So
Let me
yes,
say
I do
something
have a
for the
beard oil.
fellas too. Taking care of the skin under your beard is very important. Okay, a lot of people kind of ignore that because it can be very dry under there, because you wash your face, but you got to get through the hair to get under, to get to the skin, right? You can't just rub it in. You can't just put it on. You got to rub it in. You know what I'm saying? I used to one of my barbers, he used to tell me that's a problem a lot of people have, where they break out under their beard because their skin under there is not clean. You know what I'm saying? And it's dry and it breaks out, and So make sure you moisturize and get stuff specifically for that, and it helps with the growth too, so you don't have patchy beards and stuff like that, dry, and it starts flaking
Mm-hmm.
off, and so yeah, so beard care is
Mm-hmm.
important too. You can't just wash it like you would just do your face.
Right. And the cleansers are also good for men too. Skin is skin.
Yeah.
My cleansers, the mask, all those things are still good, for your skin. It's just that I did the beard oil, especially, for the hair and the beard to give it softness, to, help it grow and things like that. But yeah, so when we talk about men's products, you can still use, and, I'm not like I said, like, I'm not a makeup person. So I'm not a pink person either. So even the products, they're not like, like it's a bunch of like girly, things. So the guys can partake in this, the cleansers and the mask and things like, and even the scrubs. The men have been buying the scrubs for the beards. Like they really like the I have a coffee, I call it a face mud, because it's a little, less abrasive than a scrub. And so that has coffee and turmeric and salt and sugar. And so that is good to like to get up under and underneath there and exfoliate under your beard and get all that clean, and then wash it all out and everything, and then put that beard oil on there and it's nice and soft. And spray the spray on so it can, grow and grow even. Because I know sometimes, I want to help my brothers with their beards. You know what I'm saying? Because I love them so much. And so, if you have a
Fellas,
little
she giving
patchy
you
beard,
hints. She giving you hints, fellas. Get your beard game together, fellas. She giving you hints. Okay. Now
oh
you
my
can't help not being 6 foot tall, but
God.
you can help your beard. Trying to help you
Anyway,
out.
I'm not commenting on that at
Okay,
all.
okay.
We'll
I
keep
know.
it
I'm
moving.
playing. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm about business. Anyway, yeah, so and so the spray, like just in case you have like a little patch going on, I want to be able to help you grow that patch out and stuff like that. So that's why I have like the spray and the oil together. And so like I would hope that you would want to buy that as a set for that reason. But if not, you could just buy the oil, you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me my opinion, I think it's just more effective to buy the set, because
Mhm.
even if you do use one thing now, it's better for you to be able like to have everything, that way you can at least try something else. And, and,
Mhm.
and so you guys know that skincare is not just for have skin problems. Okay.
Mhm.
Skincare is for anybody who has skin, period. So even if you got clear skin, if you don't have acne, eczema, anything like that, if you got great, perfect model skin, okay,
Mhm.
you still need to take care of it. Okay. You still go out there, you still are subject to the sun, subject to the environment and all of this stuff. So you still got to go out there, because you might have good skin this month and then next month you start breaking out or something like that. So
Mhm.
you got to make sure you're up on that.
Mhm. Mhm. And that's why I sell the acne spot roller. So, even if you don't like, you're not a person that has acne prone skin, when you get one or two, you could just, pop it. You know what I mean? Just roll it on there, so, and then it'll help dry it up fast. It has turmeric in that as well, so that you don't get a dry. So that it'll help you fight the dark spots that you end up getting from the pimple. Before you even heal the pimple, you know what I mean? So like that was my thought process behind that. And yeah, no, I do not use, please do not use body soap for your face. It's horrible. You should not be doing that. If you are over 10 years old, even when I was 10, I wasn't doing that. But I'm just saying, if you were like over, be like, you're not a child, you definitely shouldn't be using that. And if you would like to, you know what I'm saying, look older, anything that suds on your face, the pH is not right. You should be, unless you have extremely oily skin, like, like white boy oily, like the ones who stay in the house and get video
Yeah.
games all day, them, with the whole like that. They the only ones that need like soap like that, you know what I mean, to be able to dry all that stuff out. But if you don't have skin like that, you really don't need something with a pH like that in the first place, especially if you're getting older.
Okay.
Oh, the
Well,
clarifying pads. Yes, I forgot all about the clarifying pads. How could I forget that? the clarifying pads, that helps to pull any impurities out of your skin as well. Thank you, BX. Oh my gosh, she is so
Oh
lovely.
yeah.
And when I could just take a second, she's so lovely. Like, it has been a pleasure to come to know BX. When I heard her voice at the African American Parade meeting, I knew it was her. Because I'm very good with voices. I heard her voice and she was behind me. I said, "That's BX." So I really love her a lot, and I just want to say, um, man, thank you, for like rocking with her all the time, and and taking care of her and all that kind of stuff. Like, wow, I love to see you guys working together. It's definitely a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, BX is the best. BX is
Mhm.
absolutely best. I don't um BX, we first off, when I first started getting on TikTok, like the lives, there was a brother of mine who was from New York as well too. And BX was in his rooms all the
Mm.
time. His name was Shavu. Shout out to him. He still does lives on TikTok. And I'm all like, you know what? He let me speak. Shout out to him. We were speaking. We was talking about FBA business. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can host some lives. And then when I hosted lives, I didn't at the time really know what I was doing. It was so much.
Mhm.
It was so different from Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I could or couldn't say, how to mod people. I didn't know none of that. What can be. And BX came in. She was like, okay, well, if you're gonna do it, then we gotta do this and do it. She pretty much guided me through the setup of it. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
she was there from day one, guiding me through. Okay, we got to set this up, mod him, mod her, do this. I recommend this. I'm all like, I'm sitting up to just whatever she say, how to set it up. I was just setting it up like
Right.
that, man. We just
Right.
been running ever since.
Yeah, she's very well knowledgeable over there. Like,
Yeah.
I'm impressed. And so yeah, like, so I just wanted to take time out to thank her. And she's always, I am so passionate about reparations and our lineage that I often forget to talk about my business. And BX never lets me forget. And I really appreciate her for that. And because I really should talk about my business more, but I'd be so mad. I forget all about my business. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait, business? What business? Oh yeah, even melanin. Yeah. Skin. Yeah. Because skin makes me happy. And that stuff makes me mad.
Yeah, I
So it's
know.
like
You
they're
don't want to
not
mix.
right. I'm not on the same way. So when I'm talking about that, I'm the last thing I'm thinking about is skin, so
Yeah,
that
and I get it too, because that's why when I'm at City Hall, I don't like shout out my YouTube channel like that, because I don't want it to seem as if I'm there for my own clout. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? You want
that
it to
too.
be seem like, hey, I got my own stuff, but I'm here for the business. I'm here for, or not my business. I'm here for the mission. I'm here for the cause, the movement. I don't want it to, because if somebody clips you saying, okay, yeah, and go to Even Melanin and get you some skin products, then it's gonna see like, oh, see, she's here to sell her own products. This is just for
Mhm.
clout, she's an
Mhm.
opportunist.
Mhm.
So you don't want that impression either. But that's why we're here.
I
That's why we're here.
appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Also, you have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna put that in the chat room so
Yes,
people can
yes, I
follow
do.
you there, because you keep talking about your 5-hour special. Everybody needs to see that. That's what needs to happen. That needs to go viral right
Yeah,
now.
and I chopped it up. I chopped up everything except for the parents part, and man, but everything else I chopped it up. But you could just watch the beginning for the parents part, the beginning of the 5 hour long. But I did chop up everything else and try to put it into. But the parents part, the sound was a little. I'm always having issues
Mm.
when I be going live. So the sound was a little. So I know I need to like really work on it, and then I had to change my app. Oh Lord. Anyway, so that's why I didn't post that. But like I said, you could just watch that because that's the beginning of the 5 hour special, and then from there, everything else is cut up.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Y'all make sure y'all
Mhm.
check that out, and then leave a comment. Don't just watch it. Leave a comment. let her know, or let the algorithm know what you thought. Okay, so leave a comment too. All right, and that's how she gonna be able to tell who watched it. All right,
and where they came from, because I have met people from the first live. Somebody came up to me. There was a brother who came up to me at the last hearing, and he was like, "Yeah, I saw you on Afro Elite, and I had to meet you." And so I am meeting you guys in real time, and I definitely appreciate that. So when y'all over there in the digital space, leave me a comment so I can know that you came from Afro Elite's program, so I can let him know. You know what I'm saying? Your people really looking out.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
some
look, I see
solid
two
folks.
people. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. That's why I was really excited that you allowed me to come up here and talk about my call to actions. Like, like I said, my goal is to get 44 million emails.
That's gonna make a difference. We gonna get reparations next month. If we all lock in for real, we gonna get reparations in the next couple months.
44 million emails. And what I hear President Devine say all the time, that Marcel be on him. Let's make it 50 million. So Marcel be saying it's 50 million of us. So let's make it 50 million. I want 50 million emails, And so that's my goal. So you're gonna see me spam my own stuff. I'm gonna be on every chance I get. I'm gonna put this website somewhere so y'all don't get tired of me. Just send another email. And send it to somebody else and tell them to send an email. Pass it on.
It's already written. You don't got to do nothing but put your information there. You won't get in trouble. They're not gonna find you. Okay.
Less than 30
I know
seconds.
people want to be. It's okay. You ain't got to put your address there or nothing. Like, you ain't got to put your whole social security number there. They ain't gonna find you. Just send an email.
And let's get this done, because like you said, as in New York, other places can follow.
Yes.
So it's important that we get that we get our bills passed, and then we can start knocking down these states together. You know what I mean? Because when your time comes up, I'll do the same for you. You know what I'm saying? Do this, because if we find the blueprint, we can rinse and repeat, just like the Democrats do. If contact, like, because that's the thing. That's what we need to do. Contacting needs to, contacting our senators and legislators is what we are supposed to do as citizens. That is our right, to let them know how they need to vote, what they need to. They work for us. They're supposed to do what we want. So if we, the people, say to support a bill, you better get your butt up there and support our bill. You work for me. And so that's what the emails allow for us. It's a kick in the pants for these legislators. And the more we flood their inbox, the better it is. The more they have to, they are forced to listen to. Oh, let me also say this. In the beginning of the first, I believe it was the second hearing. Right? Or first or second hearing, one of the first few hearings, because they all run together for me now. They were electing the vice chair. President Devine and I tell this story a lot. They were electing the vice chair. And they really wanted Dr. Daniels to be the vice chair. He was not in attendance that day. And we wanted Dr. Jenkins to be the vice chair. And so when they had decided that they were going to table it to the next meeting, right? And so the deciding vote came down to the actual chairperson, right? And she was the deciding vote. She told us, me and President Devine, she told us, I believe Annette was there as well, but she told us that she voted for Dr. Jenkins. Like I said, the deciding vote. She voted for Dr. Jenkins because of the emails she received, because we had a smaller scale email writing letter. Well, I don't want to say we. I'm going to say Net on Twitter, and Earn on Twitter.
They
have, because they follow all the reparations meetings. They follow everybody in every state, everything. They follow more than I can. I can't follow everybody, everything all the time. You know what I'm saying? But they have lives for every single reparations in every state. Okay, so they had started a email letter campaign to telling them that they wanted Dr. Jenkins. So I'm letting the family know how we came up with the strategy. You understand what I'm saying? And so as a result of that email letter writing campaign, which was not 44 million people, I don't know how many people it was. I'm sure they got it had to be a good amount, whatever it was. Okay. So they started that, and the chairperson, she changed her vote because of that. So the emails work. That's how the emails work. And if you really think about it, of course it will. It's the equivalent to writing them a letter. And isn't that what we say about white folks all the time? Or white tea people? That they quick to write a letter to the congressperson. That's what you're doing. This is what you're doing. You're writing a letter to your congressperson, to your to the senator, and to the assembly people. You are getting your pen and you are writing a letter in 30 seconds for each one of these letters. That is what you are doing. So you are taking political power into your hands by writing and sending these letters. So I just, really, really want to, pump the importance of these letters and explain, how we came up with this strategy.
Yep. Okay. And I want to thank you for that. Thank you and to the New York team for all of what you've done. For everything.
Oh, you are so welcome. And I'm just
watching, and we're going to be supporting. And I need y'all, everybody in the chat room, make sure you guys go to all of the calls, not just one, all of the calls to actions, putting your email, your name, all of that stuff. Even if you have a small comment or anything like that, and be all like, yeah, I know what y'all doing. I know y'all gonna say something, but you know what I'm saying. Say what you want to say and be, But anyway, y'all go ahead and do that, because as you just said, that does work and that is effective. Okay. Because right now they're trying to sabotage her in the voice that they have at the hearings. All right.
The last email, we didn't go over the last email that's on the page.
Okay.
The last email is a request. Like this is personal, right? This is a letter going to the commission, right? Like I said in my testimony, the testimony that you played. If you really care about
this is the last which one?
Yes.
This one?
Send Numbers USA. Yes, that one right there. I want you to send an email to the commission telling them to do a presentation, like how they was doing a presentation. And I told you that the last presenter was a student. Send an email to have Andrew Barnes from Numbers USA. I want him specifically. He is an expert on how immigration has hurt Black Americans. So I want them, because they got 18 months, right, till January 2027. I want them to pay Andre Barnes some money to come and do a presentation about that. Since they keep bringing up immigration and blah, 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 let's do that. So send a list. And this is to the same chair who said she was reading the emails, and that's why she changed her vote. So this is who you're sending the email to. So we know she read the emails. Okay, we know that for a fact. So send them an email letting them know that we want them to do a presentation on how immigration has hurt foundational Black Americans, because they want to act like that's not the case. And there's books and everything on it, and we got experts on it. We got our own experts. So bring one of our experts in there. And so this is just, something like, there's a little personal sprinkle in there of what I would like to see.
It's only 15 or 10 more We only need 10 more. We got hundreds of people in here right now. This would be done
No,
by
I want,
tomorrow.
you know me, I want 44, I want 50 million. I know that's what the thing says. Breuck's goal is 50 million. Help me.
Mhm.
Help me,
The link,
please.
somebody says the link to that comes from, let me show you guys. It comes from this page. This is the page where all of the calls to actions are listed below. And that is at the top of the chat room. That's pinned at the top of the chat room. So you go to that, it'll send you to this, and then you can go to all of the links.
And that's
all
all
right.
my
And I
calls to
will
action.
and come back because I'm gonna put that in the comment. I can't do it right now because we're live, but I will put that in the comment section so that way
Okay.
you guys can just go to the comment section. Y'all don't even got to search through, but y'all can just go to the comment section and then y'all can save it, bookmark it. Okay, that way y'all
Send
can
multiple
send this out.
emails. You don't
So
have to
y'all don't
just
have to
send
do that.
one. Send
Multiple
multiple, you know,
emails.
right? You don't have to send just one. Sister Keisha has it on repeat every day. She got it timed on a timer. She send the email every day. Okay, you know she thorough. You heard?
Yeah, and she
That's
don't be
what
playing no
that's
games. She don't be
yeah, that's
playing
my
no
sister.
games. I love it. See, y'all put
Nah.
that on the timer. See, we on something different now.
Yeah, right. She
We on
put
something
a
different.
timer. She put it so it sends at the same time every single day. So she ain't playing. So you know, I'm not gonna ask everybody to do that, but I mean, if you could, it would be nice though. You know, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'll tell you that much.
I think this was a good one. We've been on here spitting game about New York, FBA in New York for a good minute. So you guys make sure y'all
Yeah.
follow back. If you guys have any questions, you guys can go to Brooks' YouTube channel. Go to Brooks' YouTube channel after y'all hit that subscribe because y'all need to do that. And then y'all can leave comments and all of that stuff there. All right. Brooke, do you have, first off, I want to thank you for your time. I know you're very busy. You got a lot to do. You got a lot of work to do, a lot going on. So I want to thank you for your time. Do you have any closing statements?
I just want to say thank you to the family for I want to say I'm appreciative to the family for appreciating my words that I'm speaking from my heart. And sometimes they're so from my heart. I don't remember some of the things that I say because I'm like so fired up and filled with something that sometimes I feel speaks for me, you know? And I'm so honored that that it resonates with the family and that they not just hear my words but feel my words. You know what I mean? And I just it's not something that I take lightly and I know sometimes like, you know, it may sound like I do because I say things like I don't remember, but it's just because I've learned to channel my anger for good. You know, I've learned to channel that New York aggression for good. And sometimes I'm just so pissed off at what's happening. I'm talking, I don't even know what I'm saying.
I've been
You
there.
know? And it's just so, and that's how you know that it's coming from somewhere else. A lot of the things, it's not all me, you know. And so like I said, I appreciate the family for appreciating and making things go viral and sending me all kinds of, you know, just like, you know, we love what you're saying. I never in my wildest dreams expected the family to react like that. And I just thank y'all. And I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And we're going to continue to support. Okay. Gonna do that. We've had some super chats that's been super supportive. Okay. Somebody, this is Antithesis. He says, for the culture, talk that young talk, young queen. Okay. A super sticker. Thank you very much for that. We've gotten huge super chats. Okay, talking about Brooke, you was on fire the whole time. I can guarantee you're probably gonna get a boost in your channel that people are gonna see
Thank
this.
you.
Somebody says, Freedman's Network says, hey, sis, very proud of you and Divine. Looking forward to working with you guys. All right. And then they ask about the products that you guys have. This is a question. So you're probably going to get a whole bunch of skincare questions
Yeah,
too.
that one I answered in the chat. I with Cetaphil, I don't like some of the ingredients. They got ingredients that like are hormone, and endocrine blockers and things like that. And that's something else that I have learned even about, because Cetaphil is one of those things that they prescribe to you when you have eczema. It's supposed to be sensitive, but like I said, some of the ingredients are block your hormones and whatnot.
Yep.
So I did answer that question in the chat.
Yeah. Okay. Then you got Alonda. Alonda says, speaking of FBA New Yorker, shout out to brother Elijah from Brooklyn and Onan from Queens. Shout out to them because they be
I
stepping.
wonder
Even
if
though
that's the
brother
same.
Elijah be all over the place, brother Elijah don't know what he be. Brother Elijah travel a lot.
Which Elijah is that? Is that the Elijah from Jason Black?
I think
Brother,
it
brother,
is. And he
brother.
be calling from like, yeah, he be like,
him.
yeah, I'm calling from Mexico, brother.
I met him. I met him at microphone check.
Really?
And
Okay.
again, on that voice, he was
Uh-huh.
like, I'm Elijah. I said, brother Elijah, brother. And he started laughing.
brother.
I said, brother. He knew it, you know.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and I saw him again at the reparations rally. He's a very kind gentleman. Yeah, he's very sweet. I've met him before. So I didn't know that's the Elijah y'all were talking about. Yes.
Yeah. Brother Elijah, get around. Shout out to him. But he stay on it. He stay supporting though. He stay supporting. He'd be on different time zones, different countries and all that stuff. He's all like, I'm on the dark side of the moon. I just wanted to call in, let you know I'm here to support.
Yeah, and then he pop out in New York too.
Like, what does he do? Why are you okay? But we just respect it. We respect it either way.
Right. I don't know, but yeah, he is everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then Freedman's Network said I met you on a Zoom at a meeting with Brother Divine. And then thanks for Brooklyn coming out. That's that Brooklyn coming out. That's that Brooklyn coming out.
It was something I was saying. Yeah, it does that from time to time.
Yep. All right. Well, I want to thank you again. Y'all make sure you guys go to what y'all need to do. Priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Call to action. Okay,
Call
that's
to
the priority.
action, number one.
Call to action. Okay. Get all of the stuff, all of the emails and all of that. Sign it, send it. Okay. And then go to her YouTube page because she's gonna keep up to date. She got specials on Ma'am Donnie and all of that stuff. She knows way more than I do about the guy. She's from New York. She's in New York. She's working in New York, so she knows all about the details and stuff. So you want an expert on New York, especially if you're in New York, you need to be following her on YouTube. Okay. And then she has other social media where you can probably find that on YouTube as well, too. Okay. And then, you want to get your skin together. You know what I'm saying? You want to get your skin together. So you got to go to Even Melanin. You got to get your products. You got to get your skin care and all of that stuff in order. So that's the priority there. All right. And it makes a great gift too. So if you don't need it, it does make a really good gift. You know what I'm saying?
Christmas is coming. You know.
It makes a good gift. So come on now.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so very much, beloved. I appreciate you, Brooke. Thank you so very much.
Oh my goodness. What a great show.
Thank you.
Thank you very
family,
much.
that
I
will be
appreciate
all.
you,
Thank you. And this
Afro.
is
Love you
special 'cause we
lots.
don't-
And thank you.
Thank you. All right. I will see you all tomorrow for our regularly scheduled program. Brooke we got some stuff we got to do. I know Brooke got emails she got to send out. She got some stuff she got to do. So thank you all for that so very much. So very much. So thank you guys. You all have a good night and y'all stay blessed.